Wanna get it crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. We wanna get it crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype.
Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. we back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again, we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again, we back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again, we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again, we back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again, we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again, we back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again, we back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends.
So hard to see the light when the weight of the world is mine. But I know I will not resign, and I am biting my tongue. No, I ain't gonna run. This is the battle I choose, and I'm gonna win. I ain't gonna lose. Sticks and stones won't break my bones. As long as I am breathing, yeah, I will stand tall. Take me down, shut me out. You ain't never, ever gonna see me bow. I'll do anything to prove you wrong. As long as I am breathing, yeah, I still stand tall. See me stumble, see me fall. You ain't never, ever gonna see me crawl. You can try and shoot me with your dirty lies. You can try and cut me with your sharpened eyes. Like the dust and like the tide, still I rise. Ain't nobody who will ever bring me down. Ain't nobody who can take away my crown. Like the dust and like the tide, still I rise. I keep on banging my drum, 'cause the best is yet to come. So I keep holding on. I'll do anything to prove you wrong. As long as I am breathing, yeah, I still stand tall. See me stumble, see me fall. You ain't never, ever gonna see me crawl. You can try and shoot me with your dirty lies. You can try and cut me with your sharpened eyes. Like the dust and like the tide, still I rise. Ain't nobody who will ever bring me down. Ain't nobody who can take away my crown. Like the dust and like the tide,
wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club.
Good morning, welcome folks to the VCT Game Changers APAC Series Open 2 Game 3. We had a lot of crazy games yesterday. We're going to go into even crazy ones today with the upper bracket finals, lower brackets as well. And we are your casters taking you through the action. Hey, I'm Quack, and along with me is none other than the smart, the math lead, Keycast.
Hey guys, so today we are going to have a lot of matchups, a lot of storylines, and it's really going to be fun because the lower bracket is pretty interesting. We're going to start off with ZOL Meraki versus Bren Victress, also known as, previously known as TCRI. So it's going to be Philippines versus the Philippines, and that hurts because even before the playoffs happened, Bren had to eliminate another team from the Philippines as well. They had to eliminate Galaxy Racer. And on the other side of the lower bracket, we also have Thailand versus Thailand. So X10 Crit is going to have to face off against Aresta. And that's just basically the nature of the beast, right? If the brackets are unlucky, you kind of have to eliminate your own country's teams. And unfortunately, that's the case. And on the upper bracket, we do have Team SMG versus Alter Ego Celeste. So that's what's going to be happening right now. We have 6 teams right now that's left. 2 will be eliminated today, and we'll have the top 4 that's in.
It's yeah, definitely a lot of these, country versus country type things happening, but maybe it's also just, following the script that Riot gave us. You kind of want to go through the country, and then the best team that represents that country comes forth, and we'll see how they all duke it out towards the end in the grand finals. But of course, the very first matchup of the day, it's going to be Bren versus ZOL Meraki. I mean, these teams have grown so much, haven't they, Marky?
Yeah, they definitely have. I mean, last year, we kind of saw the same top 3. It was always A Celeste, back then Mad Army, now X10. And then Galaxy Racer is the biggest missing one. We haven't seen them in the previous Open. We don't see them in this Open as well, but they're your normal top 3s. But now we're starting to see a difference in the power rankings, right? We're starting to see other teams rise up. Some teams get stronger, and TCRI and now Bren Victress, they rose to the occasion. We started seeing them in about Open 5, 6, and in overtime they started looking like a top 8 team, but they were top 3 in Open 1. So here's the most interesting part. Bren Victress, probably the fastest growing team that we're seeing in FSL.
I mean, they took a map off of Alter Ego Celeste in overtime, which is, man, that takes quite a bit of stamina, honestly, and also a lot of smarts, the fact that they took it 14-12. But of course, we're going to take a look at what we have for the entire roadmap for VCT Game Changers, just to run through that real quick. We are currently in the second Open right now, but the way this works is that we have an Open for every month, 4 months, up till Open Overtime. The top 3 teams from every VCT Game Changers APAC Open with the top points, they will qualify. Open Overtime, a couple of teams will qualify. Last chance qualifiers, 1 team will qualify. And then we will have all of them play in the VCT Game Changers APAC Elite, where we will crown 1 team as the Victress. Well, yeah. And then last year, that team was Alter Ego Celeste. Without dropping a single map, a single series, will we finally see something change today? Exactly, yeah, single Open as well.
Yeah, so it's been crazy the way they've been running with every single Open. They won every single one. They even won Open 1 this year as well. So we're going to have to see if that's going to be challenged this year, because we talked about the power rankings shifting, and we talked about the different teams taking second, third, fourth. But the first place team still has been unchallenged. And right now, we're starting to see teams try to chip away at that great lead, right? Bren Victress took 1 map away. Will SMG be able to do that as well? So the prize pool breakdown, of course, you see on the screen right now. First place gets $1,500 USD. This is, of course, so far been going the way of Alter Ego Celeste. They've been great. Second place is no slouch either. It's just great prize pool for the teams that are participating. They've been participating since the early opens last year, and it's nice to see the same teams come back, compete, retool, maybe rebuild, or maybe even just get better. Some of them have stuck together for a long time and just gotten better and better.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the best things about this entire VCT Game Changers APAC as well. I mean, prize pool is nice; it's a lot of money, but it's also a great incentive to kind of encourage all of these girls, all these players to continue to compete, and it really is just a safe space for them to get together. There's even an FSL Discord where they can look for teams, look for scrims with each other, and that's why you see in the group stages right now just the sheer number of teams that we've had. I mean, compared to what we had since the game came out, this is almost, I might even say double, I think. I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to ask the FSL team for that. But this is a huge number of teams. There are so many new names, new players, new teams right now that wow, this is actually very intimidating to look at. I mean, can you even count how many there are, Mr. Mathlete Marquis?
It's P number of groups, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times 4, 64 teams. So we're full roster.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, 64? That's my final answer. 64.
I think you're right. 64. And out of the 64, we only have the top 8 right here. A couple have been eliminated already. However, I think that was Gamdang and Orangutan yesterday.
Yeah, it's 2 teams that have already gotten eliminated. But of course, we're starting to see similar teams rise to the top 8. So the new format is doing really great as well. With multiple groups, 16 groups now instead of the original 4 groups and 2 out of each group. So we're starting to see the format improve and become more competitive as well as more opens come in.
Yeah, but you also talked about the power rankings earlier on, and I think
here
we
we
can
go.
take a quick look at that. The leaderboard so far, and these are the results from the Open from last month, the very first Open of VCT Game Changers APAC. And of course, Alter Ego Celeste, they're the ones on top currently. Following that would be X10 Crit, and you know, in the past we might have seen Enigma Galaxy, but right now it's Bren Esports Victress on the 3rd. So it's very interesting to see what's shaking up in this entire VCT Game Changers APAC series. X10 Crit currently in the lower brackets, Bren Esports as well. So who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're going to have to see, right? Because a lot of the teams, as we're talking about, they've picked up players from other teams. They've just started improving. Some teams have been sponsored by other orgs. For example, ZOL Meraki used to be Shomai and Friends. Orangutan is also a new team comprised of players from various teams before that have come banded together to improve.
Very cool.
And that's why the brackets look different every single open, right? And that's what's great to see. Orgs are starting to pick up these teams. Orgs are starting to pick up teams in the league, and that's what I really like to see, because that means that the league is improving. The infrastructure, the foundations of the league are getting built, and we're starting to see that come to fruition.
Ooh, yes, this is what it's all about. We're starting to build a house, a mansion. We're laying down the foundation. We're putting down the bricks, the cement. And of course, our first series of today will be between ZOL Meraki and Bren Esports Victress. This is going to be the PH versus PH scene. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. My money's kind of on Bren, but I guess we'll take a look at that a little bit more after this. Following that, we will have the upper bracket finals. Alter Ego Celeste versus Team SMG. Definitely going to be an intense, sweaty one. Bring your towels because, oh my goodness, I'm going to spit all over my keyboard. And then, of course, Game 3 of the day will be between, well, lower bracket round 3. Whoever wins from Bren Esports, ZOL, as well as X10 and, well, the other team. Thank you. Tie versus tie.
Yes, it's unfortunate, but you know that's the way it is, and that's the lower bracket. Plus, you know the fun part about these teams is they've been playing each other for the longest time. The various opens, the various tournaments, even elite, they know each other very well. But that's also what makes this very fun, because they know how to play against each other. They know the strengths of each other, and that's what's fun about this league. It's starting to develop. It's starting to really become mature to the point that teams know specific bans against other teams. It's not like it's any surprise anymore. We're starting to build like a rich database of stats too. Definitely, that's the most exciting part. Shout out to the production team and the TO team for providing us all the stats. But we have some really great stats to show you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, shout outs to like articles like runitback.gg and all these different Twitter accounts. I think the Postplant, for example, they do a lot of great coverage for this entire scene as well. But of course, jumping right into it, the very first team that we've got on our hands today, Bren Esports Victress, previously known as the Capital Arise, and they've even picked up a couple of new-ish, well, not new-ish players, but you know they've been in the scene. They just picked one up off the, I don't want to say off the streets, but Meraki. I think she was a new addition to the team, and maybe you want to talk a little bit about that, Marky?
Yeah, she used to play for Galaxy Racer female as well. She was, I believe, a sub, and then now she's part of the main roster. She's the main duelist for Bren Victress. She's been tearing it up in the battlefield, really. On the other hand, ZOL Meraki, another Philippine team, of course. We've seen them. Some of them were also ex TCRI's players, like Capricious, for example, which would have seen her at the end of the Opens last year under the TCRI's banner, so they know each other for sure. I mean, it's a relatively smaller scene as well. They definitely scrim with each other a lot, and it's another team to really look out for. Like they might not have the same effect or achievements yet as Bren Victress. They did place third, but they have made the playoffs from Open 1 and Open 2. So that's really interesting to see because they're kind of like the new staple coming to top 8. So while they're not like a perennial top 3, top 4 yet, they're locked in for top 8, which is actually interesting.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I mean, it's compared to last year. Honestly, I'm really stunned by all the teams, all the orgs coming in, the growth. Nigma Galaxy, I hope they're still out there. I hope we start to see them coming in as well. But for now, Bren Esports Victress and ZOL Meraki, these teams are here and they are strong. They are awesome, and I think one of the things that we should highlight is definitely the duelist. I mean, yesterday, Bren Esports against Alter Ego Celeste, they took a map off. They even played incredibly well on some of those, making it pretty close to about 2-ish digits. And part of the reason for that happening is Meraki on her raise.
Yeah, and it's really just a different take in what they were doing before. So what's actually interesting was that Twirly is not in the main roster. At least we're not seeing her. We didn't see her play yesterday. She was the one tearing it up in Open 1, but Mikassi's also doing a great job at that. So the interesting one is Alexi actually switching role a bit. She was the duelist, but now she's actually playing a bit of the controller role. So that's going to be really interesting to see. And what's also interesting is that I see both Breeze and Fracture in the map picks. So we have the map picks right now.
I know.
They've already done the banning. Ascent will be the first map, which is pretty standard. But I see Breeze, I see Fracture, and wow, what's going on here?
Standard-ish, right? But see, if you take a look at what happened throughout the ban phase, ZOL Meraki banning Split and Bind, that was definitely an inspired choice by Bren's performance so far in the previous days, because they played against X10 Crit. Remember, this team is the one that placed second in last month's Open. This is a team that is so incredibly strong. They've got star players like Ginny, for example, Muffin, who's an incredibly strong duelist as well. But Bren defeated them, and the first map on which they played was Split. They went pretty... It's almost a walkover. I don't want to say it's a walkover, but they played incredibly well. And that's kind of scary if you take a look at the VOD and how Meraki really took down their defenses on a map like Split especially. This is why Split will be banned. And then if you take a look at stats as well, Bren just doesn't really perform that well on Breeze for whatever reason, at least for now. Who knows? Maybe with the new org buff, with the new coach, they might have picked up some strats along the way. But currently their stats look at... They stand at a 25% win percentage. Of the 4 times they played on Breeze, they've only won once.
Yeah, I mean, it's smaller sample size, right? That's not really indicative. But the fact that ZOL Meraki chose Breeze against Bren, they definitely know that it's a map that they can take against. When you're picking maps, you know their weaknesses. You pick a map that's strong for you, and it's not great for the other team. So that's what ZOL Meraki is going for this one.
Yeah,
And that's what I want to see here, right? For ZOL and Meraki to take this to a game 3, if they can take Breeze away from Bren. But as we've seen, Bren or TCRIs from Open 1, they're really strong. They got dropped to the lower bracket by X10 Crit, which is the almost clear number 2 team in the Opens right now. But they made it all the way back to the lower bracket finals to fight up against X10 Crit again, which just tells me that Bren Victress, they're really strong. They might not be top 2 just yet, but they're clearly number 3.
They definitely, I mean, currently they are, and who knows, they might even become number 2, because right now, this might be PH versus PH, right? And on the chance that Bren actually wins, on our substream, FSL_2, right now we have the tie versus tie teams, Aresta versus X10 Crit. On the chances that we're going into the lower bracket finals tomorrow, it's going to be Bren versus X10. That's going to be another rematch. And that's going to be another crazy thing that happens. And if Bren actually wins, they're going to go against whoever gets placed in the grand final. And who knows how that's going to happen.
Yeah, but it looks like we're going to have a bit of a short break first before the teams get ready and get on the map, because might be some technical issues, I'm not sure. But we're gonna go for a quick break, and of course, don't be right back. We'll be right back. Don't touch our browser, because we will come back with Bren Victress versus ZOL Meraki.
wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype.
Hi, girls!
Hello. Hi.
Congratulations and great performance last weekend for Open One. I have a few questions to ask you guys, so I hope you guys will be able to have a chat with me. So, my first question is, how did you guys manage to pick up Zini?
That time Zini doesn't have a team, so she's a free agent. So Japips introduced her to us, and we tried to play with her in scrims to see if she will fit to us. We like her, especially her mindset and attitude, because I believe that's the most important part of being a pro player. And she also knows how to calm us.
Aw, so she's like your Zen Bell or something like
Yeah.
that. Okay. So that's a quick question. If you guys are like panicking or you guys are tilted, what would she say?
Chill, guys. We got this. We can
Apes
still win
together
this.
strong.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? She says apes together strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were really in the like pressured because it was like one win away to get a map of X10, and we're like, come on guys, we got this. Yeah, apes together strong. We can retake our like go together.
So now let's talk a little bit about your performance in Open One. So what did you guys think of your team's performance?
We didn't expect it to actually make it out of group stage because everyone, it was a stacked group, like group
Yeah.
this, like group of that, and also we encountered a lot of problem along the run because first we don't have a coach and we have to make our plays and strats on our own. Also, we cannot practice effectively or like scream because someone's always lagging. We had to handle almost everything on our own, and yeah, we're just really happy with the outcome.
But let's talk a little bit about your internet problems. Is your internet problems because of the internet in your area, or literally just like because one of you guys is on like maybe hotspot?
I think for some of us, it's because of the spot. Because Kelly, she even has two networks.
Mhm.
She's switching back and forth
Oh,
with it,
no.
but still, it's still sometimes lag. And some of us just really have bad internet at the beginning. Like it has a schedule with whenever it wants to be lag or not.
Now that you guys know that you guys have internet at a certain time of days, it disconnects and stuff. So during the tournament, did you guys have at any point during you guys were competing, the internet just lags randomly?
Once or twice, yeah, Shirazi disconnected or like she had to change her internet from another network or like open the VPN, switch it.
How did it feel for the team to make your way out of the group of death? Like you mentioned earlier, you guys weren't even sure if you would make it out of there. So how does it feel suddenly just making it out? Like, were you in shock?
Yeah, we were in real shock because we don't know how we actually went out of that group because it was really stuck. And actually, when we beat Asteria, especially with that scoreline, it really gave us a lot of confidence with the coming playoffs because imagine playing against established teams and beating them. also with a good scoreline, it was really confidence boosting and also making us happy and more comfortable with our play. Before our group stage, we actually encountered some problems because Alexi had to go somewhere and we had to find someone to stand in for her. So we got Callie, and so after that we had to switch the roles because there's one missing duelist or to fill Alexi. So we asked Shirazi, who's our controller, to play duelist for us, and me and Calypso just share the role to fill Shirazi's controller role. I didn't expect that it was that tough to play Viper on Icebox because Aneri just runs and then headshots. That I'm dead. I cannot hold the site, guys. Let's just retake. Come on.
What was the biggest obstacle, or at least which team gave you the most difficulty going through Group D?
It was really
Alter Ego Celeste.
Alter Ego.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. We were kind of nervous at the game with VLT Asteria, but after a while, we just Shirazi thoroughly just kill them all, clean the site. Oh, this plan. I hold the flank. It's okay.
If you guys could say anything to anyone aspiring to start off playing in competitive, what would you say to them?
Don't give up on your goals.
Yeah.
Oh, not apes together strong.
Next, that's next.
That's next.
Yeah, first you have to not give up first
Okay.
and like trust on your teammates because apes together are strong.
Exactly. Thank you so much, girls, for spending some time with us to share with us how your experience have been during the VCT Game Changers. I hope to see you guys again soon with maybe better internet as well as better results. So I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
wanna get it crunk in the club with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. We wanna get it.
Hello, Anuri. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing okay. How about you?
Oh, fine, thank you. So I'm really excited to talk to you, especially after you guys came up on top on Open #1. So can I know, how are you guys feeling about taking the champion spot?
We all feel really happy since we were actually down 1-2, right? So it was kind of a reverse sweep. So we're all very happy and very excited to win that series.
So can I know what was the biggest obstacle you faced during the Open 1?
Probably since our IGL kind of retired last minute, right? Napski had to she kind of have to fill the roles that our IGL left. And I guess that was maybe the hardest obstacle is to we switched our lineups last minute. Like we were supposed to play one duelist and then suddenly Ayumi played Jet for most of the maps and then Napski kind of filled the chamber role.
Speaking of your previous IGL retiring, so can I know, because of Tarathiel's retirement, what fundamentals changed? I mean, you did mention that there were some role swaps, but other than that, what about the calls and everything?
Well, something that has significantly changed is that we relied more on Tara's mid calls, right? But without her here, I guess everyone just kind of calls. There's no one leading. It's more like everyone is calling. Yeah.
Did that change really impact your gameplay, or is it sort of better now because everyone is calling?
At first, I guess it was quite confusing since everyone is calling, right? So there's kind of a clash of opinions sometimes. Someone says to go A and someone says to go B. I guess it was those minor problems at the beginning of FSL, but towards the end, towards the grand finals, it suddenly fixed itself, and I guess everything went really well.
I'm so glad to hear that you finally figured it out. And because of that, despite that inconvenience, you guys still managed to make it out on top. So congratulations. So right now, you did mention that AEC has done things differently since Tarathiel's not around. Can I also know what has changed in the team? You said in terms of calls, everyone is doing calls. You mentioned that there are some role swaps. But what about outside? What about training and scrims? How is that working out for you guys?
We've only practiced with this roster for a week. I guess we edit more scrims every day. Instead of doing 2 maps, sometimes we go 3 maps and then we go custom game together, since it's we had little to no practice time together, right, with the new roster. So we just kind of we practiced more. But as of right now, we're all on break. So I don't know for the future how we're gonna.
Okay, so in terms of chemistry-wise, since you guys do have a new roster /lineup /strat, how is it actually impacting you guys? How long did it take you guys to actually gel together?
Didn't took that long since everyone kind of was friends with Napski. It was so natural to play with her, especially since she was a former CSGO pro, right? She had lots of experience and she's just a very good player. So the chemistry just kind of, we just bonded naturally, yeah.
So what made you guys choose her?
Well, this is a funny story actually. She joined Celeste not as a 6 or anything. She was actually our manager, right? But Tara suddenly got COVID. She actually planned to retire later onwards, not like on FSO Open first. She said she wanted to retire after the Worlds, right? But suddenly she got COVID and she couldn't make it to the scrim. And then our manager was kind of forced into playing since there's no one else.
So how does she feel about it? Does she still feel forced, or is she very happy to play?
Well, I hope she's happy. I think she talked about like there being a lot of pressure since she hasn't played in a long time. So I guess she was quite nervous, but I hope she enjoys playing in Celeste because I'm really happy to have her as my teammate.
Did you guys expect that X10 Crit to put up such a fight in the finals?
For me, yeah, because I have them at my friend list, right? And I see them practicing every day for so long. Like I think they practice around 3 hours a day. I'm not really sure. Then I see them in their like Instagram story. They have boot camps and coaches, and I was like, oh my god, they're really prepared. I'm like so scared going against them. So yeah, I kind of expected it to be a very tough grand finals, but well, I'm very confident in my team also.
Wow. So in terms of that, when you spoke about that, you guys don't really have boot camps or like proper training. It's just you guys on your own. Is that it?
We don't have boot camps. We all play in our own houses.
I see. Well, I guess that kind of adds to the pressure and nervousness as well. So I can imagine. So after that, just now you guys did mention as well that I think one of our other girls, Ayumi, was also sick and down with COVID. But she was still playing, so what was the mental state like for her and the rest of the team actually?
During the first game, it was against Fuma Gaming, a Filipino team. I think since it was her first day getting COVID, I guess everyone was just kind of worried for her since, well, she got timing and then she was also sick. We were all like, let's go Aini, you can do this, stuff like that. She couldn't really give out comms. So we just kind of guessed what she was trying to do in the minimap. Yeah. Whenever she asks for help, right, it's just a tiny whisper. So we're just like, oh, did she just say help? Or like there was this one round in Haven at the grand finals. She was like 1v3ing in the side and I was hiding short because I didn't know what to do, right? And then I just heard like she was like, oh my god, help me. And I was like, oh, did she just say something? I was like, okay, I will swing. Yeah, something like that.
Aw, I mean, it's still cool that you guys still managed to go through it despite losing your IGL so early as well as Ayumi's sickness. Either way, congratulations. You guys by far have the most, not only the interesting backstory, but just crazy comeback as well. So I'm really excited to see what AAC will bring us for us next. So thank you so much for spending time with me, Enri, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye!
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Get money. 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 Get money Get money. 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 Get money Get money. Get money.
All right, welcome back, everyone, into the VCT Game Changers APAC Open number 2. Apologies for technical issues, but we are finally getting the things going underway. The first map between Bren and ZOL Meraki will be none other than Ascent. And of course, this one is honestly pretty scary to me. And I'm your caster. Hey, I'm Quack. With me is Marquis. Dude, this is honestly, like, when Bren took this map off of Alter Ego Celeste, like the reigning queens of VCT Game Changers APAC, right? They took it 14-12, and this is something that rarely happens. Alter Ego Celeste rarely lose, if ever, at all. The fact that they took it is a huge statement, and if they actually run the same agent composition as well, I think ZOL Meraki will have a tough time.
Yeah, as we were talking about earlier in the panel, it is quite a feat for Bren Victress because they've risen to the top 3. They were top 3 last open, and they're definitely a cut above everyone else, right? Like that's the power rankings before used to be there's one clear first place, and then kind of like everyone else. But now we see X10 crit female and Bren Victress as well, kind of fighting for that second place spot, and they're getting closer and closer to Alter Ego Select's level. So on the other hand, ZOL Meraki, I'm not too sure if they can prove themselves here. This is where they can actually kind of like measure themselves against the top tier of VCT Game Changers APAC, because here is where we will see if they can even give Bren Victress a run for their money.
That's a good way to put it for sure. But just an additional note, I mean, during the break, I took a look at some stats and taking a look at last month's brackets as well. These two teams actually played against each other. They didn't play Ascent, but Siomai and Friends, aka ZOL Meraki, they did lose 2-0. I certainly hope it's not going to repeat this time around. We shall see how that plays out. But talking about Ascent once more, I mean, Bren Esports Victress, they love to go with this agent composition of Makasi on the Raze, and that is when she was top fragging yesterday, almost dropping a 30 bomb. Other than that, it's kind of your standard double initiator, KO plus Sova.
Wait. It's not standard. Where's Jet?
No need. You got Raze. But,
no, on the other side.
On ZOL Meraki right now, yeah, I'm just seeing that. They got a chamber, they got no duelist. This is a duelist
chamber is your
agent
duelist.
composition. Oh my god. Well,
okay, this
I mean,
is really interesting.
If they're starting on defense, yeah, this could work.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Ascent is kind of notoriously defensive-sided. I can see that this draft might be that they want to get as many defense rounds as they can before switching sides. So it's pretty notoriously defensive-sided. Chamber works really well for Ascent as well because you can put the teleporter at mid and into A, so you can easily move between the two sites without any issue, without even having to cross through mid. I think that's going to be really interesting. At the same time, though, on the side of Bren Victress, yeah, there's just so much initiation that they have. Having the KO plus the Sova, I think that's really interesting because we see a lot of just the KO or just the Sova, but having both, I believe that is the way to go.
It's definitely quite a bit of value. I mean, that's the double initiator, right? But so far, not really making a move yet. They're biding their time. 50 seconds left, and now the execute comes in. We're looking for paint shells. We're looking for recon vaults, and Heidi's just trying to pop shot through the sky smoke. Not really finding anything yet, but of course, Shirazi will be the first to get first blood. Spike will get planted as well, and my goodness, Bren have gotten full control over the site. They're trying to pop flash through to get control over Garden, making it a little bit more difficult for them to hold down the site, but with the fact that you can hold from A main as well, A short presence as well, it's a team ace coming out in this pistol round.
What a statement from Bren. Like, if that's how they're gonna start, and if this dictates the rest of the pace of the game, I'm scared for ZOL Meraki. They already have the double sentinels. They already have a double initiator for the retake as well, which I think is good in theory. But right now, it seems like Bren just had their way. Like, they were waiting for the longest time. It was complete patience, but they were ready. Once the execute came in, it was just clean. Everyone got one kill. It was a team ace. So Bren Victress, they're absolutely amazing, and you can tell they're ready for this.
That phrase, they had their way. I think they had the element of surprise. ZOL Meraki were just a little bit too passive. They had even map control, but they weren't really peeking out. But here it comes. It's a good stack, but you're going up against a full force by Spectres. Can you really hold up against this, though? They're throwing the grenades. They've gotten the frags. All 3 dead. Capricious is trying to do whatever she can. Does get a right click. Dances around the triple stack. But oh no, White swinging it off of lane. There's just too much to look out for. And that leaves us in a 1v4. The honor
staring at the door.
Oh my gosh. Knock, knock. Who's on the other side? It's Makasi. Piety did get one more, though, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's, you know, that 50-50 kind of worked out for ZOL Meraki, but I think Bren still played it really well. You can tell, normally in round 2 you want to full rush on. And when you full rush on, you kind of don't check the corners, you don't expect to stack. But they actually took their time in the B lobby. After that, they actually realized, oh, there's more than 3 players on B site. And that's when they realized it was a stack. And because of that, they actually took their time coming in and kind of made out that round 2 unscathed. They still got 3 guns, which is pretty good.
Elu said this about Bren a couple days ago when he was casting with Sleepy. And he said that Bren does a really good job at dismantling the defenses, especially when it comes down to sites. I mean, if we take a quick look at how they really divide their roles, each and every person taking a single angle, there's just so much that they're covering. And if they can repeat the same thing, oh my goodness, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. Of course, full buy now coming in from ZOL Meraki, but they're playing this same default defenses. It's great utility setup, but they're not really peeking. They're not really going for info.
Yeah, and look at Bren. They changed their pace again. Like, round 2 was pretty fast. Round 1 was a slow, calculated execute. Right now, they're playing a default because they're just waiting for someone from ZOL Meraki to push out. Once you get that one rifle and it becomes a 5v4, if they do get a first kill, it becomes extremely more favored towards the side of Bren. So right now, they're just waiting for someone to get curious, someone to push. They can't find anyone though. ZOL Meraki, they know what's happening, they know what's going on. As Miha actually takes Ali down, immediately clears that full control. And now the rest. Oh, Bren already coming in. What's going on? It's supposed to be an eco bonus round for them, but it looks like they're gonna get the spike down, and it's gonna look scary for ZOL Meraki.
Spectre and a Sheriff. Of course, though, Miha's not going to back down without a fight. She brings her Vandal to this gunfight. Lexi, though, picking one up off the ground. This is going to be so devastating. The null command getting activated as well. I'm not sure how Miha can fight her way out of this one. There are 3 heads that she has to look for. Down to 45 HP as well. A couple more bullets and she's dead. And that's what Shirazi is going to throw at her. 3-0. A perfect start for Bren.
I don't like calling this very early, but you can see that Bren is just way too ready for ZOL. ZOL,
I know.
They're not ready for this. Like, I think they're just not reading Bren right. Like, Bren, every single time, look, even though they had a 50-50 for the stack, Bren transcended that. Even though they were on a bonus round, Bren transcended that. They were able to execute on A with a Sheriff and a Spectre against full rifles. What is going on here? We talked about how TC Rise has kind of put themselves in the top 3 position right now, and they're actually showing it.
It's the ARG buff, honestly. I mean, take a look at how they're approaching this round as well. With the way that the timer is going, for a second there, I thought that I was watching an EU team or something because they are so tactful about their approach. They are so controlled. ZOL Meraki, they're going to need crossfires. They're going to need setup. They're going to need to get a little bit more info if they want to take a couple rounds off of Bren right now. Control over short, control over garden. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough.
It's another A stack yet again, with a little bit of mid control for ZOL. They are in the eco though, so Piety gets it. Oh, she actually steals the gun. Okay, at least now they know there's someone in there. Misses the shot. Zinni takes the first kill, and Bren are already running into the site. They do detect so many of the attackers, but it doesn't matter because they're already running in. Executes does take one down, but the rest of ZOL are just falling like flies.
Spike planted.
One by one, they drop. There are 2 remaining, but they have no choice but to back off, and they run straight in towards Ali. And that leaves the Cold G, the lone survivor, peeking outside of short, getting dinged in the head by Shirazi. 4-0 already, Marquis. how is the rest of this match gonna go?
That works.
Right now, Bren just looks like they're in
A gift.
control. So ZOL, right now it's a buy round for them. So if they're starting to figure things out, this might be the round for them. But I think right now ZOL are giving Bren a little bit too much respect. Like they're just there's no space taking for ZOL Meraki. They're playing a bit scared, and understandably so, because Bren, they looked so dominant the first few rounds. But I think that if ZOL want a chance of winning this, they're gonna have to get a little bit more information. They're gonna have to get a bit more cheeky. And I like this push from the chamber onto B main, so that they're gonna expect that it's gonna be an A execute. They check B main, no one's there. They know it's gonna be an A. Their ODS are coming in. This is what ZOL needs.
Nice. Rotation's already underway for sure, but of course they're going to execute ready out of the Astra Nebulas. Well, tapping on the pause button for now, though. Not really peeking outside of it just yet. They did get faced with the 0 point from the official side, so this is just fixing up to be a big duel, a big firefight, maybe looking for an opening pick. And looking at how Bren are playing, so careful. They're not executing just yet.
Yeah, look at that corner clear from the Nano Swarm. That's a lineup. And I think that's an aggressive kill throw lineup. Not something that you see very often, but those are the most... Ooh! That shot from Mia, straight headshot. Alexi gets one more through the smoke! What is going on? This is exactly what ZOL Meraki need. Bren are stuck here, and they're just gonna get detected again, so they know that they're still in A main, and there's a flank coming from Capricious. She's not gonna find anyone though. Shirazi's gonna get one, but Miha
30
is gonna
seconds
clean
left.
up shop. That's gonna be a third kill for her as Zinni takes Piety down. But
enemy
Miha is
remaining.
still there. That's a fourth kill for her, and she's gonna get the ace!
I know what they're thinking.
Round number 5, Miha with the ace. This just turned into her firing range. Somebody has been doing her aim lab Valorant Ascent headshots because every single one of those bursts was pixel accurate.
That was insane. She had 3 kills before this. The rest of her team combined without her had 3. And she just gets completely selected. Yeah, we're gonna win one round. I'll get an ace here. They completely shut down Bren. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. They were 0-4. But getting an ace to get your first round kind of gives you that momentum, that confidence to push further. And for Bren, he's like, your momentum kind of gets stopped there. One player. Oh my god, Capricious. Because he was not expecting anyone to play up that close. Get the first kill. I think ZOL Meraki are finally finding this stride, trying to figure what Bren's movements are.
I mean, you know what that is? As Bear Grylls would love to say, that's a boost of morale. I mean, that's definitely what that ace did. That's why Capricious is getting a little bit more courageous to push out and towards B main, finding opening picks. And now, take a look at the top mid. You got Nicole G peeking out as well. What's she gonna find? One player. She wants the shot, but at the very least, this is information. Piety is ready for the draw. 3 more players are all that remains for Bren. But look at the way they're spread out across the map as well. I would not count them out.
Not at all. I mean, they've been excellent at playing this game. But did they notice someone push up here? Yep, Zinni is gonna find. She checks her corners. Nicole G a bit cheeky there, but no one was watching that swing. And Ali gets one more, equalizes things. This is gonna be really scary for ZOL Meraki because in a 3v3, the attackers have the advantage.
30 seconds left.
Oh, they're using the lockdown as well, executing into the B site. At the very least, though, this draws in all the rotations already. You're going to have to find all of these duels. Otherwise, ZOL Meraki stand a chance of stopping them in their tracks. It's going to be Capricious. She sprays it. She gets a triple. 2-4. And ZOL Meraki are coming back into the game.
And that was a big gamble from the side of ZOL Meraki. That was a gamble to stay in the lockdown, hoping that they would push at the last second. She was gonna get detained there no matter what. She had no escape there, even though she was chamber. Her rendezvous was on the... It was still inside the lockdown. She stayed there and was able to get these 2 kills, and the 3rd kill was from Esekis, who was actually watching from the defender spawn. So, perfectly played by ZOL Meraki there. That was just big brain plays.
Big brain and eyes in their veins. She wasn't moving. I love that. But coming into this round now. Again, this is Bren. They're trying something different. Seemingly setting up an A split, but not fully committing. The spike has not been picked up yet. So they're going to play so carefully. Again, just kind of like an EMEA European team.
Yep.
Slowly meandering throughout.
I agree. They're kind of poking the defenses, and I think this is a hallmark of great teams. They're just not executing blindly. they poke the defenses a bit, and they have alternatives to their strategies. And which is this one? Hunter's Fury into the kill from Alexi opens up the side. They can rush into the side right now. The defenders are there in Garden, but Shirazi takes Piety down through the smoke. Capricious can't even push through the smoke. That molly is going to deter and discourage anyone from pushing in. It's going to be a 3v5 retake for ZOL, Meraki, and Bren have found their footing yet again.
Yeah, this is definitely a disadvantageous retake. You only have 3 players. You got 5 players to look out for. I might just say it. I'm not too sure, but at the very least, they're going to break down the door, cause a little bit of noise, establish a little bit of presence, allow for Bren to possibly go in for some peeks. But look at Makasi, just with the position and elevated top. It's so tough for ZOL to find anything that this turns out into a flawless win for Bren.
They all just died from headshot angles. It was all one taps. It looked like they were gonna try to look for picks, but the moment they peeked out, they just died.
It's just positioning and angles. Bren have kind of cracked the code.
Yeah, so after the 2 rounds, they didn't seem like they lost any momentum. I think that's the thing I want to point out here. Like we talked about the morale being raised for ZOL Meraki, but I also thought it might have been a shot at Bren's morale. But it seemed like they're unfazed by whatever's going on. Those 2 rounds didn't matter to them. That ace didn't matter. Their executes are still on point. They're fast. They're really not giving space for ZOL Meraki.
There definitely is quite a bit of depth to the Bren Victress playbook. I mean, look at how they're changing things up this round as well. 4 in towards A main, 1 just watching the back of B lobby in case anyone pushes out. They're trying to lure ZOL Meraki into peeking out possibly. And once they find the opening pick, that's when they start to go in. So far, with the way that Bren have been taking control over sites post-plant, honestly, I think ZOL Meraki's best bet at winning rounds is to stop them as soon as they execute. And that is one way to do it. Capricious finding the opening pick on towards Alley. They can call out that B is definitely clear, and Mia is going to get to do her same thing again. Going for the 3rd spray, whiffs, but there is Capricious to back her up. Zinni's the last one left and stuck inside the doors. It's a choke point. Nicole G finishes it off with a headshot.
It was clean from ZOL Meraki. Miha, again, locking that site down. You'd think KO is a Sentinel with the way she's playing right now.
You're right, you're right.
And look at that lockdown. Swings off the generator. Off of the trap as well. Off of Capricious's trap at the corner. Swings out the generator. Does KO get a buff by playing near a generator?
Ooh. Because he's a bot?
Yeah, exactly. Gets charged up, you know?
You got the org buff, and then you got the Jenny buff.
Yeah.
Man, that's quite a number of buffs.
He's actually playing mid now, so I like how they're shuffling things around. They probably want to dodge where Mia is, but surprise, Mia's actually at mid.
She's throwing out the fragment as well. This stalls and delays Bren's advances. Null command getting popped though, and Makasi is going to go in to look for the opener. Doesn't quite find anything, at least clears out the corners towards A main, but here comes Mia. She's got an ult command as well, doesn't even need it at the moment. Shirazi comes back into the fight though, and comes in with a triple now. Does not expect Mia from the back, and that is where ZOL Meraki finds victory, 4-5.
Mia has been the shining star for ZOL Meraki. She's been absolutely decimating Bren. Like, in the rounds that they win, it's Mia locking things down. Shirazi, though, almost kind of brought it back here. Did not check behind her. Must not have heard Mia running there.
This is a completely different look. Mia wasn't really playing this way a couple days ago, but here she is, and on a relatively different agent now, KO. And honestly, it's her positioning that really nets her these kills. I mean, the way that she's hiding and off angles. Capricious now getting, again, brave, peeking out, finding opening frags. This is looking to be a 5-5.
Yeah, ZOL, I mean, it's an eco for Bren, but they've been pretty crazy with the sheriffs, right? I remember the bonus round, but ZOL finally finding their footing yet again, off the back of Mia. ZOL also have 4 ultimates up, so it's gonna be really difficult for Bren to actually secure this round because there's just so many things that ZOL Meraki can do, and they're already outnumbered.
That's so tough too. just waiting for the nebula to dissipate, possibly looking for an angle, an opening pick. But I'm not quite sure if that's the play. The next couple rounds, I think what Bren could do to adjust to what ZOL is doing is to possibly just switch up the pace a little bit. They're playing really slow right now and kind of playing in towards ZOL's plans at the current moment. They're looking to execute it towards the A site, but it's not going their way. You've got all of these automatic rifles spraying down the angles, and of course it's going to be ZOL with the 5-5 win.
Yeah, they for what it looked like at the beginning, ZOL actually brought it back. It was 5-2, and then ZOL just strings 3 rounds in a row. So, but here's the thing though. We talked about how the how Ascent is pretty much defense sided. If ZOL, they can only end at best 7-5 here with the lineup that they have. They don't have any
Oh,
duelists.
you're right.
It's gonna be so difficult to get into sites. I mean, they do have the double initiator, but they don't have the mobility that Bren have on the Rays, for example, just satcheling in. It's gonna be difficult for them to attack. So we're gonna have, but at the same time, Bren, they do have a Sentinel. It's not a double Sentinel like ZOL have, but I think that ZOL probably wanted more rounds than 7.
You're absolutely right. I mean, lacking mobility makes it possibly a little bit more difficult to execute. You don't have the jet dash, you don't have the raised satchel, so they're gonna have to find different ways. But at the very least, currently, if they can close this out 7-5, that would still be a big victory. They're already rotating towards the A site, so making the right calls this time around, and of course forcing Bren to spend utility just to clear out corners as well. And even trades to start things off, and you still have Mia on the other side, possibly going to be a Thorn now, coming out. She's trying to catch them in the back, but does she realize the alley is behind her? No! It's going to be the lockdown that still goes through, though. I mean, the null command coming in from Miha. It does a little bit of damage. Hunter's Fury as well, but doesn't really find anything. Heidi's thinking about going in for the red.
Zinni just took that Hunter's Fury down, like, while planting. She's like, I don't care. I'm gonna get this plant in alley.
Wow.
Thorn in their side, just waiting at short. Piety couldn't even get into tree room.
Round before the
That's
switch.
one way to lurk.
Yeah, I mean, the best part about, I think what people don't realize about lurking in general is that you can just stay in her, and as long as you're there, it's on the back of the attacker's minds, right? Like, there's someone there, but I can't find them. And Ali was just playing just that. Like, she didn't have to push. Just kind of put the fear into Piety. Like, there's someone in tree room, but I have to look for them.
Let 4 of your teammates go off first, and you can lurk behind, catch someone off as you try to rotate. The sheer presence alone does so much, but right now, Bren trying to switch up the pace. They are executing hard, fast and furious into the B site. They're getting stopped a little bit though, and the sheer presence of this operator might be scary, but they're still pushing forward. What is Makasi going to do? Does she realize that Makasi is right beneath
Mia.
her? Oh, lockdown as well. That is not looking too good as Makasi pushes up front. She's going for the knife. Okay, a little bit of respect. She swaps back to the primary weapon. Still though, this is a 2v4. Exekis as well as the Sova. I'm not sure if they can really retake this. The retakes haven't been looking too good so far for ZOL.
Oh, that was crazy. She didn't finish it off with the knife though. She hit with the knife like a love tap and then switches back to the vandal to finish her off.
We scrimmed together. I still love you. And Exeki still loves her opponents as well. Finding the first headshot into her Shirazi. And now it's all down to Piety, but peeking out. It's gonna be Ali that finishes it off. 7-5.
Switching sides.
This is not too good for ZOL.
No, it's really not. They don't have the mobility. I think in particular, for example, A site is so hard to get into, especially when you don't have the duelist to dash in. Like normally you start with Arena Lear and then the team runs in, or a jet smoke into the dash into the smoke, raise satchel in just to cut the site, you know. Right now there's a gigantic door and they don't have the agents with mobility to get in. So I think for ZOL Meraki, they're gonna have to go with a bit of a slower execute. They're gonna have to look for those picks first. They can't execute the same way Bren did with that race, and I think that's just gonna be the difficult part for this attacking side for ZOL Meraki.
Definitely. I mean, you said it all. That's what we were alluding up towards as well. But I mean, you make do with what you have, right? You got a chamber. It's pretty good. You got Killjoy. You got your KO. You got your Sova. What can you do with that? Maybe some grenades to clear out corners.
Yep.
Find some ways to deny a little bit of area, perhaps, and really just to make use of, well, I guess
They need the mollies. I think it's the mollies and the flashes.
Nanoswarm, yeah.
Yeah, so you have to use the nanoswarm. You have to use the KO grenade as well to clear corners. That's how you kind of like get into a site, or at least clear the corners without the duelist. So that's one of the biggest things. They have to be ready for that, though. We saw how Bren utilized their nanoswarms and the KO grenade to actually flush corners out. Is it a pop nano? I'm not sure what you could call it, but basically you chuck the nano in. You don't wait for it to land. Yeah, you just activate it as soon as it lands. It has to be an instantaneous activation to make it similar to like a brimstone molly, right? That actually like clears corners, right?
Don't give your opponents a chance to shoot it down.
Exactly, and I think that's what Bren's lineup actually does really well. They can clear corners because they had the nanoswarm lineups for the corners. They had the KO grenades for the corners. They had the brimstone molly as well. So that's something that I wasn't really thinking about. Like I knew they had a lot of mollies, but I didn't realize how well they used those mollies to clear out the corners. They got a site because the nanoswarm flushes the heaven corner on the right, and then the brimstone molly carpets the middle of it, and that just flushes all the defenders out back into the defender spawn, and that opens up the A site for them. It's just crazy what Bren are doing. It's just really great how they're pushing defenders off of the angles, off of the corners, and getting to the site. I'm not sure if ZOL Meraki had that in them.
Definitely is something that that's one of the reasons why Bren is performing so well. But honestly, if you take a look at the match, the round history so far, ZOL throughout the first half have not won a single retake, and I think this is where they're going to start to face a problem as well. I mean, Asian composition on Bren's side, you talked about the mollies, you talked about the mobility. It's a little bit more balanced as compared to what ZOL has. Because they have so many mollies, they don't really have that mobility. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to push in, and I think that's one of the reasons why they haven't really won out in retakes as well. It's going to be a little bit tough, and they're going to need to find opening picks. And at the same time, if Bren just plays defense 100%, just full on turtling throughout, it could be really difficult for ZOL.
Yeah, I mean, Bren, even though they don't have double sentinels like ZOL had, it's fine because Ascent is so defender skewed. It could just stay in the site, and as we mentioned, there's no attacking powers on ZOL. Look, they just have to rush in. But look, a nanoswarm just discouraging the whole team from pushing in, and Bren are burning so much time.
They're walking through though. They don't even care. Capricious setting up some rendezvous. She's waiting for the off angles. Is the door shut in her face though? Not quite yet. The boombot doesn't really find anything, and that is going to hurt Makasi. Rendezvous back in towards B main, and now they're setting up for a couple more duels. The spike has been planted, and ZOL, they look like they have this in their bag. All they really got to do is time this out, wait for the peaks to come through, and then go in to find those headshots. Capricious, though, having a little bit of a tough time. She is isolated in towards A main now, and Alexei they're rushing in. Bren, the retake potential on this team is good. They are finding the frags, and it's down to Exekeys. She tries to flick on towards the left, but no! Ellie closes it out. It is 8-5, and Bren have the momentum.
The executes are just crazy. Like, this is the same thing that they did on the attacking side. The way they rush in, the way they cover every single corner. They peek together as well. They go for those trades. That's exactly what Bren did on the attacking side, and that's exactly what you should do in a retake. And they have the tools for it. They had the mollies, they can clear corners. It's just so clinical from them. Look, Capricious gets this easy kill at the beginning. Niha also finds one of her own. This 3v5 retake looked impossible, but Bren was able to pull it off.
Leave them no escape. Oh my goodness. I mean, if you take a look in the first few seconds of that replay as well, there's one thing that we kind of haven't... we sort of overlooked the sky smoke. I mean, we talked about how strong Niha is, and she did get that ace, but Tarazi is leading in terms of kills right now as a controller. She's doing so much for her team, and now Bren feeling confident. They are pushing out. They want the frags. They've got the Spectres, and they are getting all of it. A 3K right at the start of the round to start things off, and two players trying to do whatever they can with Classic. It's not working out too well. Again, it's the last one. That's Piety, but the paint shells just explode right at her back.
The funny part was Mikasi actually threw those paint shells as she was dying. and IT kills her, and then the Painful still land
From the
on-
grave.
Yeah, from the grave. It's like a death rattle. Rattle it did. Look at Bren, 2 rounds in a row right now. They
Wrong
have
game.
a 4-round lead. They are in the bonus though, so we're gonna have to see if ZOL have it in them to execute with bigger guns.
They need to. Honestly, if they can't, and this is a free upgrade, a true bonus for Bren, I would call it like this is where things really start to go awry. ZOL needs this round. And I think they feel that pressure as well. Look at how they're positioned towards B lobby. Thinking about heading in towards B main, but they're just not quite sure if there is a player on the other side of that wall.
Yeah,
At the
I
same
like
time,
this though.
Bren's getting information.
Yeah, I really like this. They checked A lobby, no one was there. They were able to take an orb. In a bonus round, they can get a little bit cheekier. That's why they can just take that orb without fear of losing a player. This is exactly what you should do in bonus rounds. Like, try to get away with as much as you can, right? You're kind of expected to lose this round, but if you get more resources, ultimate orbs are resources, guns are resources. Taking away guns from enemy is kind of like a resource as well. In that sense, denial at least from the enemy team. That's exactly what you want to do in a bonus. So they got the ultimate orb. They're getting a little bit more information as well, so they're gonna know that's gonna be a B execute. The goal for Bren right now is to get as many guns as they can, but you know what?
30 seconds left.
They even have a chance of winning this round. Like, they've been insane in bonus rounds. They've been
gosh.
insane in holding things off.
Marquis, just look at the timer. You're absolutely right. Bren really does have a chance. ZOL has no choice but to run all the way into A site.
Oh no,
and this
the
is so
nade!
risky. Oh my god, timing on the nade as well. No way they get the spike planted at this point. They can't even kill every single one of Bren's players. They rush in towards Garden, but all they really need to do,
Oh, they got it.
is just to stall them. 2 seconds left, and they still get the spike planted. ZOL, this is incredible. Down to 2 players now on Bren's side, and they are getting spotted out by the 0 point. Spectres in hand, and I'm not sure if they can actually retake this. There is still that potential though, because one of ZOL's players, Miha, is down to red HP. They're holding and trying to set up for crossfires, getting a little bit inquisitive, peeking out as well. And here comes Bren. They're going to separate the duels, but oh no, not really clearing the corners. Exekeys comes up huge, along with Piety. This is 6-9.
I thought Bren had that with the delay. They needed only 2 more seconds. I think if someone stayed alive on A site, ZOL would not have gotten in plan. So a little bit of a misplay from Bren there. It was great all the way till the end, but you know, some of the teams like to do this. They wait till the last second, and basically, luckily for ZOL Meraki, they were able to get away with that. But they did lose 3
Very
guns,
lucky.
so their economy got damaged a little bit, and that's what I was saying. Like, Bren just want to damage their economy as much as they can. I think they did a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, you can definitely see the results of it as well. 3 light shields on 3 of ZOL's players. It's a little bit of a problem. Not too bad if you can find the headshots. What was that? Nakoji, check her PC. How did she do that? Through the sky smoke. Crazy timing. 3 players on the outside of mid as well, though, and she's going to peek. Gets shut down by Makasi. And here comes ZOL. They have to execute in towards the B site now, knowing that they are basically boxed in.
That's a rager of a 1-tap. Like, you just hear the tap through the smoke and you're dead, and you're like, well then, I guess not.
Oh my goodness. Well, they're still going in though, and they've gotten control over the site. Spike getting planted. A little bit of a crossfire setting up towards.
Because he's not gonna check the corner again.
He doesn't check it. She knows that there's a player underneath block. She hears those footsteps, but she's not clearing the corners. And without support from her teammates, Exekeys, the cleanup crew has arrived. ZOL are coming back into the game.
It's the exact same corner that Mikasi died in. 2 Capricious as well in the pistol
yeah.
round. So I think that Mikasi better learn her lesson and check right first. Oh my god! I don't know how that works. She just taps there.
Nicole G. What was up with that? How did that happen? It's still amazing, and it's one of the reasons why they won that round. Now, ZOL, we talked about them having trouble with the attacking side, but they're actually performing pretty decently.
Yeah, the gun rounds have been going really well for them, and I think the Bren are now on the eco this time around. But hey, here's what I like about Bren. I told you, whenever they lose rounds, they're not deterred from like pushing forward as Shirazi gets a kill onto Miha. Exactly what I was saying. There's no scaring
Capricious.
them. Look, they're actually pushing onto Capricious, who's holding the flank a little bit. They're not gonna find her just yet, though. As Alexi tries to swing, misses the shot though. But Ali is there, takes down executes Nicole G. Gonna take 2 down, takes the orb. She's getting a bit dangerous, but she doesn't need the orb anymore because she got 2 kills.
Good flick as well. Now they're looking to close out this round. There is still quite a bit of risk, and that is why they are trying to do whatever they can with utility. Wait, there was a turret kill? That was a turret kill? Where did that happen? Oh my goodness. All that's left is Shirazi, and all that she's got is a Marshall. No retake. You might just go in to pick up a weapon or two, but Capricious seems to have that locked down.
Teleport's ready.
Yeah, she's been stellar. Capricious, like getting the first kill on the execute, or rather on the retake. Stops the retake, but getting the first kill, teleports away to the side, and she's positioned in that spot as well right now. He's probably gonna find the first kill here, or well, the last kill on that Brim, but Brim is not gonna be pushing anymore. She's too low for anything to happen. I don't like.
I wouldn't save though.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, there you go. Yeah. She knew where the Phantom was because she got a kill there. Wait.
No. Well, that's still fine.
Huh.
Maybe wasn't really expecting
Yeah.
the radius.
Yeah. Like if it were planted in the middle of the side or the back of the side, probably wouldn't have reached there. Yeah, but this kill onto Miha, really aggressive pushes from Bren. Able to take a few guns away, which on an eco is pretty okay.
It's not bad. They try to do whatever damage that they can, but with the fact that ZOL has been winning the past 3 rounds now, look at their economy. It's starting to flourish. All of them have heavy shields. It's not really a problem for them anymore. Bren, it might be time to start stacking up on sites because despite getting active control, and that is a good thing, the intel isn't really doing too much for them. The players who are supposed to be anchoring are having a tough time doing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. Like for Bren, they looked really good the first 2 rounds, and then I think that they just started giving a little bit too much space for ZOL Meraki. But of course, not to discount what ZOL Meraki have been doing, because their executes, given the limited tools that they have, they're making the best out of it. The double initiation is actually worked just enough for ZOL because their duels are great. Capricious on that chamber, she's getting those kills. Like we talk about how chamber is more like a duelist than sentinel, really, but she's showing how that works on an attacking side.
Definitely knows how to find those frags. And at the same time, they know how to play some strats as well. I mean, take a look at how they're switching up the pace again and again.
30 seconds left.
This time going slow. But maybe it's not working out too well. My goodness. Shock dart lineups to kill the lockdown as well. ZOL has no choice but to push in. They've got 20 seconds left. And on the other side of this smoke, it's going to be a lot of players. It's a full firing squad. Can they actually make it out of this, though? The Cosmic Divide secures them safe passage into the site. But here comes Bren. They are setting up for it, just waiting for the curtains to fall. The purple curtain is starting to apart. But here comes the 0 point as well. A little bit extra information. And Bren setting things up with the sky smoke. They are looking to drop down and descend in towards hell. 2 players instantly dead, and they're looking for the final 3. In towards A main, in towards short, and they go in to find those kills. Zinni gets 1 more as well. All that's left are 2 more, and surely they know where they are. Capricious not backing down, though. Does find 1. Exekeys gets another as well, but the spike has already been defused. Bren are back into the game.
I was gonna say I don't like this 5v5 retake, but they made it work. It's like nothing to them. The great use of the ultimates from Bren. They didn't even need to use the orbital strike. They cleared it with the lockdown plus the KO ult. Alexi dropping down here, dropping them like flies, and immediately the push onto main. Even though the smoke was there, great team play from Bren. Really understanding how this retake should work, and really executing that just stops ZOL Meraki in their tracks. They almost equalized it, but Bren found a way to make that 5v5 retake work.
The retake potential. Again, if they have the numbers, and if they know where these players are positioned, if they have everything going right for them, shooting down the lockdown and just making sure that the timing of this retake starts just as the spike goes down, they should be able to get it. And that's why I think they should start to stack up on sites, but looking at how they're playing right now, possibly getting a little bit curious. Mikasi on the other side of this thing, she has a judge in her hands. You're gonna love this, Marquis.
Yeah, well, it's only if it works right now. I think it works a lot with Raze because you can use the satchel, kind of like use the grenades to add a little bit more explosives into the, into the mix. Exactly what you need. But man, I don't know if this will work because they have the flashes, they have the information from the Sova as well. When she gets tagged, it's done. Like the surprise factor of the judge is gone. We'll have to see about that though, as there's really too much information gathering. Look at this from ZOL. They know, okay, they hear the judge. They know there's a shotgun there. But right now, I think ZOL don't really give themselves enough space. Change the strategies as Alexi gets a double kill. There's all the strike coming in as well. There's only 17 seconds left. I don't think they can choose to change sides anymore. They have to go B. And there's so much time being bought for the side of Bren. Alexi pushes forward, gets a third, a fourth, and another ace! Oh my god, this game is delivering!
Oh my goodness, first game of the day and we already have 2 aces. Alexi, just pristine positioning, reading the situation perfectly well, knowing that they're all backed up inside of B main. She just holds it down. No way you push past this girl.
Both KOs have been locking sides down, and it's been just amazing how both of them have been playing. I mean, we talked about this. Alexi, she used to be a duelist. She knows how to get those frags, and she really just destroyed everyone on that side. Right now, ZOL Meraki calling this timeout really good for them because Bren are on 11 points. Next point will be match point for them, and Bren, they're streaking right now.
It's getting pretty close, and this streak is something that could possibly close this map off for ZOL. I mean, 11-8. If Bren takes another win, again, I'm not too sure how ZOL's economy looks this time around, and we're looking at a possible match point. That's something that's going to put ZOL backs against the wall, and when that happens, the pressure is on. You're possibly prone to making a little bit more mistakes. With the way that ZOL's been playing as well, it seems like they're starting to lose a little bit of that confidence. They're not playing as fast as they did when the second half just started.
Yeah.
Oh, economy's broken as well.
It's not great. They can buy lights. Yeah, this can still work. But the thing is, it feels bad because you're kind of on a light armor buy, a little bit of a broken buy, and Bren are en route to that match point. Just feels terrible, but it also just feels bad because if you eco this round, you're gonna have to buy up against match point, so you're kind of stuck with making that decision, right?
That's the dilemma. Sometimes you just have no choice, and if Tash's interview with any of the Bren players says anything, sometimes you just gotta chill long and aim together strong. And that's certainly what ZOL is trying to do right now as they stream in towards the A site. They've gotten the spike down, but again, that retake potential from Bren, that's pretty scary, dude. 5v4, I'm not sure if they can actually hold this down.
Yeah, it's just Bren are a bit too clean right now, but they are holding it down a little bit, equalizes things. And using the lockdown as well to buy a little bit more time for themselves. They do have a little bit of rivals. They did get some damage down as well. Oh, but the spray through the wall. Ali gets the first kill. 2 players in hell right now. There's a shock dart doing a lot of damage as well. All down to purchase 4 HP on her. Gets a headshot, but Ali is going to clean things up. It was really close for ZOL, but Bren clean executes from them.
Just the cleanest. 1 extra player, and they got all of those trades. Ali coming in to save the day. 12-8. It is now match point, just like we discussed. What can ZOL do at this point?
Their economy is really broken. It's yet another rifle plus light buy. Some bulldogs, some guardians. You hate to see it. It's kind of like they had 2 broken buys in a row, and look at Piety. She better buy armor. Yeah, light armor.
Light shields.
It's you're kind of in this weird spot where it's match point, but you can't even muster up a good buy. They had 2 broken buys in a row. Bren though, their retakes are just too good, and I think ZOL you can feel that they're running out of options because we've only seen one great strat from them, which is wait the timer down, fast execute. And that doesn't work out all the time. Like, they do get to the site, yes, but they can't hold it for too long because they can't clear the corners, they can't establish post plants, and Bren are taking advantage of that.
Goodness. Taking advantage indeed. Look at how they're pushing up. But ZOL was just waiting for them to do just that. They got the opening pick. They might be able to pick up a weapon for free. But there is Meraki on the other side, watching the angle, eyeing it down with an operator. This could be devastating. She does fire the first shot, though, just to shoot down the L drone. And that is information aplenty for ZOL. They're trying to overwhelm her so that they can take down the site. And if they do have the numbers, they could very well win out this round. Going into it, they still haven't quite found Meraki. Spraying through the smokes, they find Shirazi. Meraki still alive, though. Does find one, but not before getting shut down by Nicole G. And here comes Miha. It's 9-12. ZOL are still in the game.
I'm just gonna point out that this is Bren's map pick after all, so we kind of expect them to take this first map, given how well they've been playing, how they took a map off AE Celeste. But ZOL are giving them a run for their money here. I'm just gonna say, because while it's clear that Bren kind of like have the upper hand, this is the map pick after all, and the fact that ZOL and Meraki are keeping it competitive still, yes, it's match point, but it's already at 9 rounds for ZOL. I think it's really promising for them.
It definitely is a valiant fight, and that's why I cannot wait to see what happens once we go in towards Breeze, ZOL's map pick, and also possibly Bren's weakness.
Hey, don't count them out just yet. ZOL might still get this.
Reserves to be seen after this, right? They still have a chance of pushing us into overtime. 3 more round wins, and they will get it. And Capricious with this opening frag, Piety with the second as well. They just might get it. One player on the B side. They can get the spike down on B.
And Bren, they're on an eco right now. They still have a little bit of that runway where they just need one more round, right? But that one more round comes one more round for ZOL each time as well. Like, they're just cleaning up shop right now, and it's all down to Alexi. Just up to Alexi. She does have a rifle that she's picked up.
I think it's an Ares.
Wait, is that an Ares?
It looked like it.
Oh, doesn't matter. She's just gonna get tapped out. And it's gonna be a clean round for ZOL Meraki, 10-12 right now. Bren should have enough to buy because they were disciplined enough to go for an eco. But I think ZOL are starting to figure things out.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing so disciplined, not really aggressively or unnecessarily rushing in towards sites, in towards contested areas. They're playing it safe. Bren, on the other hand, they look to be getting a little bit more restless. Like, they really want to close this out and not to give ZOL too much headway. And that's why they're peeking out, trying to gain active control over the map, but it's costing them quite a bit.
Yeah, I think someone has already told them to slow down. Like, you could tell they're already not pushing up in front. They're already just waiting for ZOL to execute. I think that the moment they catch ZOL running down the clock yet again and then failing to execute, that's how Bren will win. It's probably going to be the same thing again. ZOL right now, they're waiting for someone to push, but Bren have already kind of conditioned them, yeah, we're going to push, but they're actually not pushing. And I think that conditioning is kind of getting into ZOL's heads, because look at them. They have not found a single inch of control. It's just a complete default at mid. They have not moved forward into either site. So it's going to be really difficult because they're running the clock down. Sure, they spot someone right now, but it really doesn't matter because they have no control.
You're right. And again, retakes. Bren can just run down the clock. And once the timer is on, the pressure is on, ZOL is a little bit more prone to making mistakes. They could get the spike down, but at what cost?
30 seconds
Bren,
left.
if they play their cards right, if they just play it safe, stack up on the right sites, they still could come in big with a retake. Going into this B push, the Cosmic Divide gets deployed. They might be able to take down these 2 players, but if they lose players of their own in that process, that could be devastating. 3 already rotating underway. They're on the other side of the Cosmic Divide. ZOL trying to push into the site itself. They haven't cleared out the back. Capricious and Nicole G pushing in towards spawn. They've gotten so many frags. This is actually possible for Bren, but no time to plant the spike. They've just lost because of the timer.
It's exactly like I said. They're just gonna run down the clock, and then Bren is somehow gonna stop that, and then ZOL are just gonna lose off. I called it the start of the round. They just conditioned that Bren would push, and then Bren was just like, "Well, we're not gonna push this round," and then they basically got the rug pulled from under them, and all of a sudden it bit them in the back this time. We saw so many times this like a last second plant. They're gonna get the plant. It's almost down. The clock has almost been run down, but at some point it's just too close for comfort. You're gonna make a mistake, and that's exactly what happened here. They tried to come in. They can't clear. They didn't have enough time to clear the back of sight, and then that just allowed Bren to win the round. They didn't even need to kill everyone. They just couldn't get in.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I said when the second half started. You know, if Bren goes for that full turtle, that is one of the things that could happen, right? And it definitely did. I think there was a chance that ZOL could have won in that last round if they actually forced players in towards the back of sight. Instead of going to clear out spawn, yes, it's a little bit scary, right? There's a Cosmic Divide. Bren could still push out of that, but you don't necessarily need to send so many players just to clear out that one spot. Back was the priority because you need to get your spike down, and even I didn't really realize that the timer was running down, so a little bit unfortunate, but it's still a valiant fight nonetheless. 10-13, we take those.
Yeah, and just take a look at the scoreboard. We were talking about this since the very beginning. It was Shirazi and Miha really lighting up the scoreboard, and they were consistent throughout the game here. We didn't see many duelists in this game, only Mikasi on that raise, and it didn't seem to matter because both teams, you know, I like to see it. At the start of VCT Game Changers APAC, we saw a lot of teams run very similar lineups. It's always the Omen and controller. We didn't see that many Astras. We didn't see that many KOs as well, even though KO for the longest time. But teams are starting to pick things up. I think the agent selection is starting to have a variety as well. And I like that because the variety in agent selection means that they have a bit of a clear picture of how they want to play the game, rather than just defaulting to comfort picks, comfort agents that they're used to playing. And these teams, you can see from the evolution of the agent picks as well, that it's just getting better and better.
It's definitely growing so much, and I can't wait to see what happens on Breeze. I mean, there definitely is quite the depth to all of these players. They know what they can do, and they have a lot of plans prepared just to push us into these maps.
Yeah, we're gonna see the highlights up real quick.
Scanning ahead. Spike down. One enemy remaining.
They found my trap.
Last player standing.
Perfect accurate.
One less.
Alright, so for the highlights here, like, we see Bren, they're pushing out on defense. I think this is one of the things that we were talking about this game. ZOL kind of figuring things out mid-game, started breaking down the defenses, but Bren just showing signs of brilliance left and right. And ZOL, they had their own moments as well. They kept this game really close, but Bren really just had the upper hand. But you know what? Coming to the next map, we're gonna have to see if ZOL and Meraki are actually able to get their own map pick, which is Breeze.
Yeah, again, I mean, first of all, this map on Ascent, 13-10, we had 2 aces. I believe it was Alexi as well as Miha from both teams. Absolutely amazing. They can bring all of that into the next map. That's going to be Breeze. Bren, they don't have the best statistics. They don't have the best history on that map. But who knows? With the new org buff, they might just be able to pull something out of their hats. But at the same time, this is a map where I think ZOL Meraki is a lot more comfortable on. That's why they picked it. They are a little bit more prepared to go through it. It's going to be a little bit rough for Bren, possibly.
Yeah, definitely. But we're going to have to see that later on after the short break as we go into map 2.
welcome back, folks, to the VCT Game Changers APAC Day 3, Open number 2. That might have been an ascension for Bren as they took it 13-10, but will the next map actually be a breeze for ZOL Meraki? Let's find out. We are your casters. Hey, I'm Quek, and next to me is KeyCast. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, that game was really close. So, like, I did not expect it to be so close. We were talking about how Bren, or also known as previously known as TC Arise, have kind of risen to top 3 in terms of placements, power rankings, and right now it looks like ZOL Meraki have also improved, because the fact that they got, what was it, 10 rounds away from Bren is just surprising to me. And right now we're coming into the second map. ZOL Meraki, this is their map pick. They're ready for this. On the other hand, Bren, they're not so hot on Breeze.
I have to agree. I mean, we talked about it quite a bit. 25% win rate only. They've played this map 4 times, only won once. It's pretty rough. Not gonna lie to you. They played this yesterday against Alter Ego Celeste, and out of all those rounds, they've only won 5 of those, and it's a little bit rough for them. But at the same time, just judging by the performance on the first map alone, ZOL Meraki, they show that they know how to play, right? They have all of these strats planned. Even when it comes down to playing on attack without duelists, they are still able to chain a couple of rounds together. I think that says something. Whether or not it actually applies to Breeze, though, that's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see, and I believe there will be a substitution coming in for Bren. I mean, both teams have 6-player rosters. Well, you got word that Bren is actually subbing in Twirly. If you guys remember Twirly from TC Arise last Open, she's been twirling around with all the kills. She's been absolutely slaying teams. And I want to see how that kind of factors in here, because typically on a map like Breeze, you kind of want a Jet to come in. And for Bren, I don't even know if Twirly is going to be playing the Duelist as a replacement for Mikasi, or will Alexi be the one going back to her duelist role this time, and Twirly going to be in that controller or initiator support. We're gonna have to see, because Bren, by substituting, it means that they have a plan or like a clear vision of how they actually want to execute on Breeze.
I think it should be. It should be. I mean, there's no real other reason for Twirly to get subbed in unless, it's one of those players that specializes in something different, and a Jet could possibly be just that. Mikasi did play a Jet against Alter Ego Celeste yesterday. She was the top fragger, but maybe something just wasn't really gelling in that composition. At the same time, Jet, that's something that Capricious excels in. This is one of her main agents. She's performed exceptionally well before. Played against Team SMG, who will be seen in the upper bracket finals later, and they made it 8-13. They did lose, but still, Capricious knows how to play this agent. She knows how to play this map, and that's something that Bren is going to have to face off against. Slight differences in terms of Sentinels right now that we're seeing.
Yeah, this is actually really interesting. Okay, it's going to be Arena actually on Twirly, and Alexi on the Jet. Okay, double duelist.
Okay.
Here we go.
I was not expecting that at all. Oh my goodness. I think we are more used to seeing, not Twirly, Alexi on something like a Sky, perhaps on Breeze, just to get that double initiation going. You want some flashes, but Arena could fulfill a similar role. But of course, you need to find frags. You need to be able to heal up and whatnot.
I think it's just different philosophies. Sky does have a way better flash. I think the Leer is not that effective on Breeze, just because of the sheer size of the map. But it really depends on how you want to play this, because if Shirazi cuts the site using the wall with Turley's Leer, and just add a little bit of Zinni smokes in, you can really cut the site down into manageable pieces for the Leer. Meanwhile, if you're playing Sky, it's a lot more straightforward. You flash in, you get a bit of info. You do have the Sova as well to get a little bit of that information, so it really depends on what they want to prioritize. And it looks like Bren want that fragging power. It's very, very clear right now that they want to take these duels. They want to play aggressive on this map. And I think that for a map where you might not be sure or of your executes, having two duelists is great because you could just take duels. Like it's literally what it's called, and it's maybe that's why they're bringing Twirly in here because they want Alexi on the Jet. If Alexi's on the Jet, then I think Twirly is probably their better Reyna player as opposed to Mikasi, who we've seen mostly on Jet and Raze.
Alexi the Jet to do some entries, create some space, and then Twirly as the playmaker to clean up afterwards, and then close in on that space. Perhaps. I think that's something that could work, and if we know anything of these Bren Esports Victress girls, is that they certainly have that potential. Just the fact that they performed so well on Ascent, and not just well, I mean, they had such a deep playbook. I might have thought that they were playing this EU-ish sort of style, very tactical, a little bit slow on the approach, but then they show that they know how to switch things up as well. And if they are going in with a double duelist, you know that they can bring that aggression, that fiery firepower towards ZOL.
Yeah, I like fiery firepower for sure, but you know we're gonna have to see if Bren have it in them. Like they're starting on the defensive side, so they don't need to rely on executes as much as side holds, positioning, and retakes. Especially on a map like Breeze, where I feel like executes need to be a little bit cleaner with how big the sides are.
Well, let's just see how they will go into execute. Just running all straight in towards Hall for the time being. They run in towards Ali, who is backing off. This is a lot of information for Bren to work off of. The rotation's already coming through, and because of that, they are able to find 3 frags at the current moment. 2 are all that remain, and they are back towards Hall. Ali trying to do what she can with her ghost, but she still is alive. Getting information as well now with the Trailblazer, why not? But you're the last player alive. I'm not quite sure if they are able to chain that into a victory.
Yeah, you know what does to the Wolf from Sky? Sometimes it does damage, sometimes it doesn't. I think it depends if it's a direct hit or not. And oh, it's actually finding me. Oh, Shirazi.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. What's a little bit messy, but this is exactly what we want to see from Bren, right? The way they're playing this, they want to start on defense because they just want to try to catch ZOL as much as they can. On the side of ZOL, though, the executes could have been cleaner. I feel like having the Jet, the Sky, the Sova, they just had so many options to go in. But Bren were playing too far back for them to expect that push.
I mean, if we take a look at how the first few seconds of that round went, ZOL just dove straight for Halls. If they had a more solid execute, a little bit faster perhaps maybe with a guiding light, they could have found Ali, but Ali just sensed danger immediately and backed off, and that was too much space in between the two teams that Bren was able to circle around back and surround them, really getting those frags at the right time, especially with I think the Cypher player coming in from middle as well. And now, wow, Twirly, what a way to start things off. Pull out a Vandal, why don't you? She's looking for the third one, does get dinked though, and Mia just shuts that down. Shirazi there to back it up as well, but at the end of the day, the frags all go in the way of Bren. There we go. Gets the last headshot, 2-0. Standard start.
Yeah, they can recover the Vandal as well. Yeah, so they did recover the Vandal. Twirly getting a little bit too over-aggressive there, but it doesn't matter. They get to save it over. And this is their bonus round, but they do have a Vandal, and that's going to be really dangerous if Twirly is able to get these kills.
There.
Well,
There.
it's certainly shaping up for now. She did get fragged out by Mia for a little bit. But again, Vandal round 2, you bring that into round 3, you stand a better chance at closing out the bonus. So that could be pretty devastating as well. ZOL, they're going to have to be a little bit more decisive or a little bit more careful about how they approach into this. And dashing in like that is one way to start things off, but they just line up perfectly for Twirly, who walks in towards a snake bite. So all's well that ends well. It becomes an even exchange. 3v3, the spike gets planted, and now all they really need to do is to hold it post-plant. They back off in towards cave, still making use of the toxic screen, still with Nicole G in towards wooden doors, and Spectres at this range, unfortunately, just doesn't really work out too well for Bren.
They found my trap.
Not the best. Nicole G also. Oh, but it's working out for Zinnia. She taps Nicole G on the head.
One enemy remaining.
Oh my god. Okay, we were talking about how specters are not. Okay, that was a bit of a misplay there. The camera executes though with a one tap.
Still got a snake bite.
Still has a snake bite, but I might think she's faking. Oh no, she gets Zinni anyway. But for Bren, that was their bonus round, and they got 4 members off of ZOL Meraki. We saw this in the previous round as well, and look at it. They already have the op on Alexi. They're ready to bring in the big guns and make sure that Breeze is going to be a breeze for them as they close the gap with that operator.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Heart palpitations. My heart definitely did jump watching those Spectre kills happen right in front of our eyes. But of course, Exekeys brings things back to normal, and still, like you mentioned, right? It's quite a bit of damage. They're gonna have to sacrifice a little bit just to buy up rifles yet again. Meanwhile, Bren, the full buy comes in, and along with this, they could take their momentum once more. Twirly's playing the exact same position again, however. Let's see if she can actually use that to her advantage.
Yeah, there's some players that are just confident in just holding an angle all the time. We've seen it in players like Canary, for example, and they just can't do it because they know they can get away with it, and that's exactly what happened just now. Headshot into the dismiss. That Empress has been popped as well, so she's gonna overheal to full. And right now, it looks like ZOL want to cut their losses by switching to a different site. It's 4-4 right now, and there's already Nicole G pushed all the way up to defender spawn. They might not be ready for this.
Off of that one frag, and another as well. Bren trying to reposition, but like you mentioned, Nicole G lurking towards the back of sight. I don't believe that they expect this, but possibly finding her as well. She's down towards yellow HP, and Alexi's definitely looking for her, seemingly sussing her out, but unfortunately gets fragged out in an instant. A triple kill for Nicole G now. And all that's left for Bren is Shirazi. Outside of sight as well. Does get spotted out. Nicole G starting to make moves, and they are all converging in on a position. Well, still one frag though to start things off, as Capricious does get a little bit too antsy, updrafting unnecessarily.
Oh my
Here comes
lord.
Nicole G. The flick is good, but Piety from the back as well. Just an extra bit of insurance. They close out this round and bring us to an even 2-2.
You can see Bren, they stacked so much on A that they kind of lost control of B. They decided to go for retake, but it really just wasn't clean. Like, we saw how they retook sites on Ascent. Oh, it's going to be a timeout. It's an early timeout for Bren. It's, in fact, probably one of the earliest timeouts that I've seen in a 2-2. It's not even like a 0-4 or anything. They're calling a timeout, and I respect this because I like that teams already figure out their issue and try to fix things early, because normally when we see these timeouts, you're a little bit too little too late, and you're like 5 rounds down at match point, and then you call a timeout. It's like a little bit too little too late. This early, if Alexi's calling it, she must have a strategy. She must be either that, or maybe even if they don't have a strategy, it's just to calm down while I figure things out, communicate better, just fix that one thing, and it might dictate the pace for the rest of the game. And I like that Bren is doing this right now.
Let's see if it actually does pay off, though. I'm not quite sure what they could really be discussing. So far, ZOL has done a good job at trying to rotate, even sending Nicole G in towards deep, deep locations, such as the arches, as we've seen before. I mean, currently top fragging for her team. Twirly still with 7 as well. It's something that works out nicely and gives them the wins, but they need to change a little bit more, and given with the early aggression from Twirly now, I think it was a little bit much. It's something that pays off for ZOL.
Yeah, it's a bit of an eco for Bren though, so I think they'll be okay with that. Just gamble a little bit. Normally these skills, high risk, high reward. But looks like there's no reward right now. As Shirazi gets a headshot onto Capricious. Quick shot from the Marshal there. Does not get spotted by the drone. Does not get tagged by the drone, rather. Does get spotted. But the plant is going to go down. There's a few flanks coming in from Bren. They're trying to sandwich ZOL Meraki here, but they know something's up here. Exekeys finds one, takes a bullet to the body though. Nicole G finishes Zinni off. Alexi gets a first kill, Flicks does not get a second kill, but Ali is there for the trade. The no-scope Marshall from Shirazi is down to 1v1, and Bren have made this expensive. Ali does have a Vandal right now. She's gonna pop that rendezvous. 6 bullets in the chamber. And does she only need 1 to kill the chamber? No, Nicole G is gonna finish her off, but it was expensive for ZOL Meraki.
Certainly expensive, but my goodness, what a way for Bren to fight back. All with nothing but marshals and sheriffs. Shirazi, this girl is cracked.
Yeah, you know, she's a controller player too. Like, she was Brim previous game, she's Viper right now. She's just, her aim is just on point.
I mean, she really knows how to use that thing. Definitely got some highlights with the Marshall on the set as well. Let's see if they can actually use it to find some wins, however. ZOL, this is a 2-win streak now, which means their economy is starting to build up. Even with a loss at this point in time, they can still bite back, and that is something that ZOL definitely wants coming into this map.
Here, I've
2
got
to
your
3
trail.
now, and ZOL have already controlled so much space, at least a half of the A site, and going back into it. Flashes getting sent out as well. Torley not really knowing where to look. Goes in for a cheeky peek, but thankfully makes it out of that one alive. Pushes in towards an off-angle close range position as well. That is something that looks pretty good. And now Alexi, all the way towards the back, does find one. Cloudburst just to secure safe passage away as well. This is buying out so much time that ZOL now only has 50 seconds left to make a move.
Yeah, this is trademark ZOL, right? They just burn down the time, wait for a very long time before actually executing, and it bites him in the back. The way Alexi actually got up there, she used to smoke to cover herself from the chamber trap, so they did not expect that flank, which is why she got that free kill, because they thought, okay, my trap's still active. But they actually used 1 cloudburst to get through that, and that's a great way to play Jet.
Oh no, it is a great way, and it's a great move, because take a look at what's on the screen right now. 15 seconds left for ZOL to plant the spike, and again, it's the same problem from the last round of the previous map right now. They've gotten all the frags. Bren, spike carrier dropped, Nicole G is the only one left, and with 3 seconds, cannot find anything, not even a frag, as Alexi finds the quadra.
It's absolutely great play from Bren. They figured things out. From that timeout, they had a really great eco where they got 4 members of ZOL Meraki. They win this round off of a 4K from Alexi as well. And like you mentioned, it's just, if you take too much time, there's no room for error. And Bren took advantage of that. As ZOL Meraki, they should really start looking at figuring out how to move faster, because honestly, nothing really happens for the last 40 seconds of the round. Bren doesn't even shuffle their defenses as the execute comes in. And I think that for ZOL Meraki, they're gonna have to look for, they're gonna have to do more in the early part of the round to take control.
Yeah, a little bit more decisive. And I think, again, this just plays into what you said earlier on in the first map, that ZOL are respecting Bren a little bit too much. Yes, it's an org, and I feel like they're kind of afraid to take these duels sometimes, that they're relying so much on utility, so much on tactics to find space, to find favorable positions. Sometimes it just costs a little bit too much time. And right now, a little bit unsuspecting, a peek comes out as well. 4v5, and they are still all the way towards the back of their spawn.
Yeah, it's an eco too, right? Like, I think
just go next.
Yeah, just try to get a spike down. Like, use the jet. Yeah. I mean, they have the tools to get the spike onto the site, and I think that's just what they need. But they're just not doing that. Like, the moment they don't rush, there's just so much utility coming in from Bren to deter the spike plant. Capricious even pops the Blade Storm here. She should just go in and try to get something. This slow play on pistols will not net you anything, because you can't take range fights. You have to be rushing in, taking these close range duels. And if this timer is gonna go down without them planting, they're gonna lose a lot of creds.
It's so much value being wasted as well. I mean, the Blade Storm on top of that. They tried to plant it, but Unfortunately, getting fragged out by Alexi again. I mean, Bren just has complete control over the site. Not to mention Zini, who is all the way towards the back of top mid as well, finds Nicole G.
I wouldn't have killed Nicole G there. Make her lose 1,000 creds. Oh, I'm serious. Look at her creds right now. If she didn't have 1,000 creds, she'd probably be buying light armor right now and one less utility, one less trap, one less bullet.
You're right. I hate to say it, but you're right.
You hate that I'm right? Oh.
Yeah. You're so toxic. I'm kidding.
Oh yeah. I mean, sometimes it's better to leave them alive. Oh, Shirazi has her teammates back. Alexi wasn't even looking at that smoke, but Shirazi was able to find Nicole G. Alexi.
Here.
I'm not sure what that was, but she just hit herself because she got flashed. That's actually some great jet play there. Used her utility to get into safety. And has control. This is what I like about Bren. They take control. Look at the mid control that Bren has. No one's going through mid. They know they're towards B. They still have one on A. It's just so clean the way they're taking control over the map. Look at ZOL. This is their map pick, but they're getting choked.
Quite frankly, they are putty in Bren Victress's hands right now. I mean, Alexi doesn't even have to do that much. Just one frag, and all of ZOL's players, they know they are boxed in towards B. And at this point, Bren, they can dictate how the rest of this round goes as long as they find some frags in towards the side throughout the retakes. Hunter's Fury comes out all of a sudden from Piety though, and she does find Zini. Miha along with one more frag as well. That's Alexi gone now. 3v4, and Bren are slowly making their way in, trying to fight out in all these duels. Toxic Screen does hurt a little bit, however, but poorly, along with the Dismiss, just finds extra information, and all that's left now is Exeki's inside of the Viper's pit. She's trying to stay alive, trying to delay them with the snake bites, but unfortunately it bounces off, and Shirazi, her counterpart, takes her out.
Bren with the retakes. Off of that timeout, they've I would say they virtually won every single round. The only one that they lost was at Eco right as the timeout was called, and there is ZOL Meraki calling their own timeout. Like, this is a great execute, but again, post-plant positions. That's what ZOL have been lacking so far. They're great at the execute, they can get into the site, but they just don't establish the post-plants very well. And because of that, Bren finds these chinks in the armor, and then they just get in. They break the armor, they break the post-plant defenses. They just take the rounds away. And if you're ZOL Meraki, this is your map pick. You don't want to be in the back foot.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, but they're kind of playing into Bren's hands. I mean, part of the reason why the post-plants aren't really working out is because Bren knows what to expect. I mean, we talked about the retake potential from Ascent. Who knew that it could apply to Breeze as well? As long as they know where ZOL is headed towards, as long as they have control over the map, which is what they do a lot of the time, they get to box them in. There was nowhere else that these ZOL players could have been except for B main, B site itself. And with a Viper's Pit, it's a little bit more predictable-ish as well. I mean, one player on the outskirts of the Viper's Pit alone, they push in, they instantly find those frags, making that retake so much easier.
Yeah. Think about the Viper's Pit. It can also be a double-edged sword when it comes to the retakes, because the area that you're defending for post plants becomes a little bit smaller, and you kind of divide it between the people who are inside the pit and the people who are outside the pit. So your post plant kind of gets split into two. And if the teams don't coordinate enough to play, the thing about the Viper's Pit, you have to play in and out of the Viper's Pit, not just inside, not just outside. You have to use it to your advantage as an in-out thing. And I think that ZOL did not have enough time to set that up.
All those Bren players are early going in, but here comes Piety. Instant headshot to start things off. She knew that there was a player positioned towards mid-win doors. Bren has gotten a little bit too, possibly aggressive now. A little bit too active, but Shirazi. A little bit of a run and gun fadeaway shot. She still finds some frags. Goes for the second now, possibly the third. Miha answers back, and here comes the ZOL squad. They want to take down the A site, and they will. Zini is all that's left And I don't think her neural theft will be too applicable here unless she finds those frags. Gets the first one, and here comes the information. Let's hack into their systems. We know where they are. Let's use our cyber cage to drop down into the site safely. Camera as well. What a Cypher master player. But can she really win out in this clutch, though? She kind of knows where they are, but can she find the frags? Gets the first one, and all that's left is Miha and our operator. Does she have a flash? I don't think she really can use it. Camera just to block out the other angle as well, and she knows she's on the other side of this pyramid. Crosshair placement is pristine, and a triple kill nets Bren the 6th win.
You said it. That was a Cypher masterclass. Using that smoke, knowing the verticality of that smoke will allow her to drop down without her being seen. Use the Viper smoke to get the jump on Viper. The camera placement before that actually spots the chamber out where she confirms the information, leading to that clutch. Absolutely insane. Shirazi with a kill here as well. It looked really good for ZOL Meraki, but just a miracle coming in from Zini, getting this first kill into the neural theft, into this clutch. Absolutely amazing play.
1v3 as well. My goodness, Mark.
This goes here.
The cyber cage, the camera, everything. That was masterful. Zini, in that interview with Tash, she might have been this free agent that they just picked up from the previous Open, but she is such a great addition to this team, especially on a map like Breeze. It's a problem for ZOL now, and they really need to find a way to come back into the game.
Yeah, definitely a big problem for them because Bren already have 6 rounds in this. We said it. This is not Bren's map pick. This is not the map. Oh, okay. The great first kill onto Shirazi. It looks like the rest of ZOL are probably gonna find. Oh no, Ali gets a jump on executes instead. It looks like the plant is gonna go down, but at what cost? The Hunter's Fury is gonna push her out, and Alexi's gonna take her down, and Bren are just gonna drop them all one by one. They know where the last player is. It's gonna be Capricious on that operator, scopes out at the wrong time. Twirly with the aggression, and Bren make it a 7-3 round lead. This is just too good.
It's just one of those things. It's so scary, so uncertain, especially when it's a Reyna, especially when it's twirling around, tiptoeing and tap dancing in and out of that cloudburst, along with the dismiss. You're holding an operator. It's a really strong weapon, but you're not quite sure if you need to hold that angle, if someone else is going to peek out, if it's going to be a double peek. And that's just so painful for ZOL. And again, it's not for lack of trying, Marquis. They were able to get the spike planted in the previous couple rounds ago, right? It was a 1v3 clutch that Zini won. And into this one, they tried to go aggressive, but Bren just shut them down. How can they recover?
I'm telling you, it's really the post plan. Oh, nice dash in and flash. Getting Twirly down, but the Viper's kit is still up. Not anymore. As Shirazi gets taken down, she peeks out of the smoke, trying to look for Capricious, who's really angry right now after that death. Just pushes forward. She's holding W all the way to defender spawn. And Bren taken aback by this aggression from Capricious.
Going in for the executions. A set play. Bren was caught by surprise, but of course their retakes are still strong, and they go back in again with the operator. Nicole G now trying to go in for that sniper duel, jumping back and forth, not really landing the shots. It's just too darn difficult, but still the damage is done. Capricious coming in from the back. All that's left is Alexi, and she gets caught out by Nicole G.
A great aggression from ZOL. I did not think they had it in them to play fast, but we've seen them burn the timer so many times. It looks like they're afraid to play fast, but now that they did, you can see that it actually works. And I'm just surprised that they haven't been doing this earlier on.
It's pretty fun, and it's fast, and sometimes that's what you need to do. And you go and assert dominance. Look at me, I am the sniper now.
Apparently Miha is sniping as well. She buys an operator for that first peek. Trying to get this first peek down. Ooh. Oh, sees the head. Twirly, great jiggle from her. Knows that there's an operator on A main. I think ZOL, oh, they get taken down. Alexi finds that first frag. And it's not looking good for ZOL anymore. They're playing a little bit of a default right now. They're trying to poke defenses. It looks like Nicole G is actually pushed all the way up already, but is met with a trap wire. So that's gonna stop her advance for a little bit more. But I think Zin might just get caught here if she just turns around and doesn't check that angle.
It comes down to timing. If she can break that tripwire, force Bren to think that the hit is coming towards A, that could work out for ZOL as they push in towards the B site.
Yeah, I
Nicole
agree.
G needs to be the one to do it though, but I don't think she knows. So again, executions. They need to rush in and take Zinni down, otherwise this could be a big problem.
Oh, she's leaving it
Nicole
up.
G is trying to
She's gonna
look
try
as
to look for
long
these
as
kills.
possible, finds the first frag, breaks the tripwire, and all of a sudden, Bren are looking the other way. Here comes the knives though from Alexi, Bladestorm in towards Nicole G's face. And we even up the odds. A Viper Spit comes up as well now, but again, with the ultimates underway, I think Bren has a chance at retaking this. Capricious, though, Bladestorm of her own gets answered back by Alexi. It's now Exakis who finds another frag, playing in and out of a Viper Spit, like you said earlier on, Marquis, but the counterpart Viper comes in. Miha finds another one as well, and it's down to the one-on-one. Snakebite to block out the area, but oh no! Flushed in towards outside of position, and Shirazi closes out. 7-4 turns into 8-4, and Bren are in the lead.
Yeah, this is just... I thought ZOL and Meraki were going to take this map and we're going to get sent to round 3, but it looks like Bren... The substitution is kind of working out. Like, they had something planned. Like, the thing about these substitutions as well is that the 6th player that's sitting out the first map, they could be prepping for the second map. Like, your coach could be talking to your 6th player, giving it information, prepping what they want to do for Breeze. And this preparation from map 1 to map 2, kind of like adjusting it according to what goes on in Ascent as well, can give Bren a lot of information. Like, if Turley comes in and says, hey, coach said do this, this is the plan, these are the set plans, I imagine that's what they're doing. Because we've seen that in other games where they sub in one player who has a specific set plan coming into the next game. And I think that's just so much information that Turley can be bringing in, preparation that she can be bringing into the game. And we can see the Brenner so ready for this map.
They definitely are. Super prepared. And, I mean, like you said, right? It's that kind of halftime-ish after the first map. You get so much information. You're coming in fresh as well. ZOL, they've got some synergy. Right? They are trying. They are getting spikes down, but there is some problem with some of the executions and some of the post-plant positions not really being held down. I mean, the spike, again, was planted in that last round of the first half. So
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how they can improve from that, but Bren are just doing such a great job, especially on the defense. They have so much map presence.
I feel like maybe 6 out of the 8 rounds that Bren won, ZOL were actually able to plant the spike down. They just couldn't hold it. And I think that we can see it on the scoreboard once you come back from the halftime break. But I'm very certain that every time we see ZOL lose, it is after they planted the spike. So they do get the spike plant. Like you mentioned, it's just the post plant that's making it so difficult. Look at this. Defuse, 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 defuse. And then 3 of the Bren wins were just kills and time.
The spike never really went off.
Yeah, it didn't. It's either they kill everyone or their post plants are just... I guess you could say the post plants are just terrible. The spike never goes off.
Either that or Bren are just that good at retaking.
Either way, right? Like, look at Shirazi. I'm just going to point it out. Shirazi with 17 kills on the board. That Viper. And it's not even like your duelists getting all the frags. They have 2 duelists. And it's not always a duelist that gets a frag. Don't get me wrong. But Shirazi has been stellar the first map and the second map as well. I want to point out her consistency no matter what.
Absolutely. And even in that last round of the first half as well, the snakebite and everything, it all works out. But here they go. It's a fast execute, and the toxic screen just covers up so much space. ZOL, they're trying to set up for that retake now, but they need to find the duels. And Alexi's positioning off of this back wall. She's causing so much distraction. It's going to work out for a little bit, however, as Capricious does find a couple more trades. 1v2 now, and the wall again. It's Shirazi. allows for Capricious to walk out front, but I'm not sure if she's actually going to be able to clear out the back B main. Goes back in for the peek and finds the headshot. Down to the 1v1 now. She's got about 15 seconds left. Shirazi still towards the back of sight. Just so unsuspecting. And she closes out the first round with a triple. 9-4. Momentum. I just, it's so hard for ZOL.
It's just too hard, and with Shirazi playing like she is, she had 17 before this round, by the way. She gets a triple, she's
20?
already up 20. And it's crazy, it's just the way she plays. It's the positioning, the aim. Look at Capricious here, she was playing insane, but Shirazi had the upper hand. Used that small angle to find that headshot angle. Really read Capricious like a book there.
Oh no. I hate to say it, honestly, but my heart breaks for ZOL. Capricious really tried so much, but fortunately, it's just a little bit better. They have a little bit more, an inch on top of ZOL, and here they go, back into the side again. Twirly with the second round Vandal once more. This girl is on fire. Shirazi, though, spike carrier getting dropped now, but Alexi comes back in for the trade. I mean, were we really expecting anything different? Spike gets planted, 4v2. How can they possibly retake from mid?
Yeah, not with the classics for sure. Plus, they already know where they are, so there's no element of surprise. There's no utility. Maybe one guiding light, but what else can you do? Look at them. They're just hoping someone pushes out. They're hoping they get served kills on a silver platter, but Bren are not giving them that. In fact, actually, they might push out here. Twirly's getting a little bit antsy. We've seen her do this, even on defense, right? She just wants to push out, and she's just like, yeah, let's just kill them.
She's got no devours. She's got no dismisses. Play it safe, please. There goes the third.
She don't care.
Oh my goodness,
she
don't care. She don't care. Who cares about the corner? All I got is my flicks, and I still get the quadra. It's a combo. It's a 10-4. Bren are not slowing down at all.
Not at all. And this just happened the first half as well. Twirly buying that Vandal on that second round. Extreme confidence from Twirly. I think we should bring it to the table. The thing about the Vandal on the second round, it's a big gamble. But the gamble can pay off because you're bringing a Vandal into the third round. And look at ZOL. One of them has to settle for a Guardian. There's 2 rifles on Bren. And it's on Shirazi and Twirly. I'm scared for ZOL.
I want to believe. I want to believe in the ZOL. They won the third round in the first half, so they could possibly do the same thing again, but here comes the executions. Bren, they are so fast, just diving right into the side head first. They don't even care about ZOL's positioning. They go straight in, and with the poison clouds, the Viper's Pit that comes up, they've got Spectres, but they turn them into close range fights. They're winning out these duels, and Alexi is so sharp. She gets yet another. All that's left is Exekis, and coming from the middle, Shirazi closes that one out. It's 11-4.
Didn't we just have the halftime break and now we're like approaching match point? It's pretty crazy how fast Bren are playing. And this is what I was talking about regarding the Viper's Pit. It's round 3. They used the Viper's Pit to close that range gap. They didn't have the big guns, only on 2 players, but they used the Viper's Pit to put the engagement on their terms. They get the spike down, and then after that, everyone pushes out of the Viper's Pit, give them the element of surprise to get the jump onto ZOL. And that's exactly how you should use the pit. You shouldn't be not half in, half out. Using that pit as a team, using that as like sort of a cover, but doing a second push. Perfect execution from Bren, and they're executing back on the site yet again as they just slaughter ZOL Meraki right now. 2 players remaining. They don't have guns at all, and Bren just have complete control over the site. Look at their post plants. They're inching forward together as well. It's really the post plants that are the biggest difference between these 2 teams. They're gonna get a kill onto Capricious as well as all down to this lone Sky. The dismiss. She can't do anything. Twirly is gonna get a triple. It's gonna be a flawless for Bren, and they're on match point 12-4 on ZOL Meraki's map pick.
The double duelist death duo, Twirly and Alexi, they did not stop at all. Press W non-stop, just rushing into sight. And they knew that they could do that because ZOL are at a deficit. They have a broken economy. They don't have the guns. All of this happening ever since we started into the second half. Off of Shirazi's triple kill in the first round, she got her Viper's Pit. Off of the win in the third round, they got the broken economy. Bren is not going to stop at all, and this Wrecking Ball just continues to swing.
And it's starting to look like it's actually Bren's map pick, but it's ZOL who chose this map. But Capricious gonna get that first kill. It shuts Twirly down a little bit as Alexi's already there, but jumps at a missed opportune time. Miha is there for the kill, and Bren are scrambling a little bit here, a little bit too eager to close out this map.
Yeah, this happened the previous map as well. Brought it to 13 and 10. ZOL, I do not want to count them out. I still want to believe, and they are definitely trying. They've got the operator. They're pulling out the big guns, and so far so good. They've stemmed that push coming outside of A main. Oh no, in towards Hall, however. They did not expect that. Nicole G getting peeked out. At the very least, they know that those players are trapped in there, so they're dumping utility inside.
They do have an exit. They could just jump off the fence, but Execute is gonna be there. Gets one. Oh my god, Shirazi, you are insane. I don't know how she gets the kill off of the drop there, but it's starting to look doable for Bren. From a 3v5, now it's a 2v3 with Shirazi leading the charge and a completely open B side. I think they might just get this.
This is still winnable, exactly. Bren, Shirazi, making use of her teammate as a little bit of cover, dropping down the vent. I mean, that might just have been a sheer coincidence, but the timing worked out. And now, with so much time between the rotations, they get to set up however they want for the post plants. Shirazi already preparing. Ali with a recon bolt as well. They can stall them. They can play around with them. Shooting out their opposing recon ball for the time being, and all of a sudden they see all of those X-ray visions. They got all the information that they could possibly want. But here comes the operator, Capricious! Oh my god, the hat trick! She finds a way to keep her team alive. It's 5-12.
If there's anyone that's gonna keep them alive, it's definitely Capricious. We've seen her, even in a previous iteration of TC Arise, she was making waves on that jet, and we're starting to see that. But Bren, they have 7 rounds to just cruise. They still have the economy for the next 2 rounds. I think it's still pretty much a lock for them unless something disastrous happens. But Capricious really showing us what a force she could be.
That's why I do not want to count them out. And they have so much potential as well. ZOL Meraki, able to come back into the game when it's dire straits, just off of an operator as well. Now making use of it to create so much more presence. An instant peek. She eliminates Alexi, one of the duelists, one of the space creators for Bren. They are forced to stall and hold for the time being, but wow. Ali as well somehow finds a shot all the way towards
I think there's a free kill. She stared for a second.
Oh my god.
Twirly. Oh, but she's not checking the rest of site though. There's someone up by double. Zinni! Oh no, she was not ready for that. Took out the trap too early. I think Twirly was trying to look for the second member on A, and Zinni a little bit too eager. Didn't clear the angle just yet. But they are gonna get, they should be able to get this plant for free. Shirazi gonna take a little bit of damage from that shock dart as the Viper's Pit is used again. Twirly is pushed up all the way forward though, so they're playing a little bit of a deep post plan here. Twirly might be able to. Whoa,
oh no, this is not
here.
good.
Oh, this is not great at all. Great jump from Patricia's there. But Shirazi playing with her toxic screen. Gets one down. Oh my!
Attackers win.
Shirazi, the double kill all of a sudden. She peeks out of the Viper's Pit. And just like that, ZOL Meraki have been eliminated. It's 13-5. They tried so hard, ZOL Meraki buying up the operator, trying to retake, but there was just so much confusion in that last round because of Twirly's positioning, somehow sneaking into that A site.
Yeah, they weren't really ready for that. Us, Shirazi, really the MVP of the 2 maps, the MVP of the series, in fact, is a controller. And that just really goes to show that, you know, Bren is a very well-rounded team. They brought in Twirly as a duelist coming in, and somehow they turned what was ZOL Meraki's map pick into a cruised easy win for 13-5.
2 Viper spits in that second half. I mean,
It was a short
partially-
second half too.
Exactly, right? I mean, that's just how strong this Bren roster is, and oh boy, I can't wait to see where this goes. But of course, commiserations to ZOL Meraki. I mean, if we take a look at the stats, they have performed admirably well, but Shirazi, 27 and 9?
Yeah, it's just too
Wow.
much, man. Like 400 ACS on that controller, playing those smokes, playing with the team as well. One thing I really don't want to discount though is that it's not just Shirazi getting the frags. Turley and Alexi create so much space for Shirazi that
Dashing
she's
in,
just able to find all of this. Like these duelists are not afraid to go in, slice the defenses. The support from Zinni and Ali as well. Do you realize there was almost no flank from ZOL Meraki ever? Like we see Bren flanking, but ZOL, no flanks coming in from ZOL, and that's because
Not
of
too
Zinni.
much.
She's making sure that no one's gonna be flanking my carries here.
Those tripwires, and not to mention there was that round she got that 1v3 clutch, absolutely impactful. And at the
Yeah.
same time, Ali helping out her teammates as well, the recons, the shock bolts. This team is just one that really works so well together. Each and every one of them playing such a strong role that they all just kind of fall together perfectly. On the other hand, ZOL Meraki, it's not that they aren't really well coordinated or anything, but once more, it just feels like they're a little bit scared, perhaps. A little bit too much respect. Not really going in for peaks, and at the same time, not going for active map control. Like you said, there wasn't a single flank. And on the first half, despite getting the spike planted, there was no post-plant hold.
Yeah, we're just gonna take a look at the highlights real quick. And we did get quite a few highlights here as well. So many clutches, so many great plays from both teams, and especially
Shirazi
Bren.
Marshall.
I want to see the Zinni highlight again. And we're gonna see that real quick as we see Turley in the first few rounds. The aggression.
Shirazi Marshall.
Yeah, with the Marshall got the no scope after that even, and then Capricious, ever so aggressive, pushing forward, keeping ZOL in the game. This execute was great for ZOL as well, but don't forget Bren actually won this round because look at this. They just jump into the Viper's pit, take everyone down. No matter what, it's just Bren absolutely dominating the headshot from here as well. And again, Capricious, ever so aggressive, really kept the team in the game. But Bren was just a little bit too strong, a little bit too fast for them. We saw Nicole G as well with the frags, a bit of a... she was top fragging for her team, on the chamber no less. But she's just outshone by Shirazi and the rest of Bren. Look at this, all the kills really just suffocating ZOL Meraki, and I think that's what we felt the whole game, right? That suffocating push. It's not just the offense, how fast it is, but the defense, how they sandwich the offense, how they sandwich the attacking side for ZOL, and giving them no space.
That sandwich, it just really blocks them in. It turns into this prison, this cage that ZOL Meraki just couldn't really break out of, especially on the first half when they were attacking. And despite all of that, they still managed to get spikes planted. They still managed to execute. They still were able to find round wins. They were still fragging out at times. And I think this is why, despite getting knocked out, this is a team that I would still keep my eyes out for. I mean, I hope to see them in the next Open. There are so many teams who have been eliminated who are still so strong. Orangutan Esports, Gamdang, and who knows what's going on over on the sub stream. But that's what we have for now. Coming up next, though, Marquis, you've been predicting this ever since we saw the brackets. I have been asking you, and every single time you just tell me. What do you tell me?
SMG versus Alter Ego Celeste in the upper bracket finals. That was pretty much confirmed. And I'm excited to see this because Alter Ego Celeste came close to, it was a 2-1 against Bren Victress yesterday. And I want to see what Team SMG can do against the reigning queens.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to go to a quick break, but after that, we shall find out what happens between Alter Ego Celeste, the reigning queens of VCT Game Changers APAC, and SMG, the challengers in the upper bracket finals.